team's payroll. He does in between the period, gives all the scores and whatever up there on a big diamond scoreboard with a squeaky voice. How about Keldy? Is he also not allowed, since he's an employee of this radio station, does the morning show with Mo every morning, is he not allowed to express his opinion about the trade or anything else? Or do we all have to goose step into line like Michael Russo, fat little pudwhacker Michael Russo, and write about, oh, Matt Cullen is great and this is really good? You're an idiot, Mike. At least you're consistent. You haven't got any idea what you're writing about. Sandis Ozolinsh wasn't playing good anymore, but of course, it was Mike Keenan that played him into the ground and overplayed him. It was his fault. Well, so blame that on him. And by the way, Sandis Ozolinsh just closed on a house a few days ago. Down here. You don't think the organization knew that he had just closed on a house and didn't go to him and say, don't buy a house, not so fast, we're thinking maybe, did they do that? No. And you could see by the standing ovation he got when he was introduced and how embarrassed he was just to be there, by the way. They had to force him into showing up. That, you fooled the fans here one time too many, okay, Alan Cohen? And this thing right here, it's like saying, well, you hated Wayne Huizenga, but he doesn't own the team anymore. So now we got a fresh new start. We're going to go out there. We're going to spend money. Did they do it? Did they spend the Pavel money?
No.
No. I mean, it's tragic. How many times do you think you can keep slapping people in the face and having them come back and spend that kind of money for an inferior product? And everybody on the CBC telecast of the All-Star game yesterday, basically, virtually everyone said, this trade sends the message that the team has given up for this season. They've written off any chance for the playoffs. They've given up. Well, that's not a message the public wants to get. And this guy goes on the air, Toast or whoever the hell he is. I guess he's the successor to Omelet.
I guess.
Yeah. Who's going to be next after they get rid of him? Cinnamon Roll?
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tart? That's not bad. Keep that in mind, Paul. I know you're listening right now. That's right. They're still on the air, aren't they? Are they?
Yeah,
they probably do 6 to 10, like all other morning shows on real radio stations. They probably do 6 to 10. I should point out to you, by the way, that email that started all that crap this morning wasn't about me. Wasn't about this show. Wasn't even about that particular bit. And yet somehow that conversation got carried along. And Neil Rogers says this, and Neil Rogers said, because that's basically what we got now, is an orchestration of all the Dennis and all the anti-Neils, who pretend not to have a sense of humor, not to understand. Dennis, you virulent anti-Semite, by the way, who's very upset that, it's only when the Jews get picked on that you people get upset, but anybody else. Didn't we have the story about the rabbi up there who in Boca, wherever it was, who was molesting the kids and went to jail? Didn't we have that story?
Sure.
Yeah. And about the other rabbi or cantor or whatever he was that was soliciting sex from that kid on the internet. Didn't we have that story?
Right.
Yeah. So you see, if we can just get a lot more rabbis and cantors and other Jewish men of the cloth to start molesting children, maybe then they'll get as much press and as much airtime as the Catholic Church, Dennis. Maybe that'll pacify you. So far, we don't see that happening. In fact, we got a new one today, speaking of the Catholic Church, which former resident of Boys Town filed sex abuse lawsuit, Omaha, Nebraska. We'll get to that. But it just reached the point. I mean, here's a guy that expresses his point of view. You're fired. You can't say those things. You're on the payroll of the organization. I'll tell you one thing. Wayne Huizenga, as bad as he is, was never any worse than what I'm seeing there now. The faces change in that organization, but the thin-skinned, uptight, we can't take any criticism, we want to manipulate everything you say, that mentality is just as strong now as it ever has been. Ever has been. How many years in a row do you think you can keep going along and selling us the youngsters, which there are some good ones, and there are also some stiffs, the youngsters in the organization, and that bullcrap, and not make the playoffs, and have the people keep coming back, spending that kind of money. So this weekend, including yesterday's All-Star game, was tremendous, but unfortunately now we go back to reality. Whatever reality is. Do we know what reality is around here?
No.
Because here at QAM, reality is gay. 19 till 10 at 560 WQAM. Guys, size does matter. And according to the Florida Department of Labor, computer professionals have big ones. We're talking about paychecks, that is. According to the state of Florida, computer careers are among the highest paid and highest in demand. Fast Train can help you achieve your new high-paying computer career in just 4 short months. Fast Train's got locations all over town, so there's bound to be one nearby you. They're in Kendall, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Pembroke Pines. With day, evening, and weekend schedules, there's no excuse to say in your dead-end job. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll-free at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. They got full-time job placement and guaranteed financing. So call Fast Train, 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on the web at fasttrain.com, because now you too can have a big one.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAQAM.
Beat that gator meat.
Warning, we have mercilessly taken the following material out of context without endorsement or permission from those depicted. It is our ongoing mission to make everything that is good and decent look as ridiculous as possible. We hope we've reached that goal, or at least made it
Tonight on Entertainment Television. Michael, I heard you used to use LaToya and Tito for spare parts.
Yes.
But now, since the group from Europe's cloning babies, you'll be able to clone your own stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait.
That is wonderful.
It is wonderful. This is unbelievable.
So what do you want to clone first?
My nose.
Well, that's obvious since you've only got a blowhole. What else?
My buttocks, thighs, my lower torso.
Tonight on E! Out of all of your mangled body parts, what could you live without?
My penis.
It's 9:45 at 560 WQM. So Tom Jicka, it must have been an accident, slipped my name into his questions and answers yesterday. Question, I live in Homestead, do not hear any Broward stations. Please let me know if anything is going on with Rick and Suds. I miss listening to them, CT and Homestead. Answer, Rick and Suds are still in the area, hoping to find a new gig. Neil Rogers keeps their names alive, but there are only a few stations in which they would fit, and Clear Channel, which let them go, owns most of them. Good answer, Tom, that's right. See, that's basically what it's boiled down to now in this radio business, and this market is a classic example of that. You work for people who lie to you, and they make all kinds of representations, and they jerk you around, and if you don't like it, well, who are you going to go to work for, huh? Because Clear Channel owns all the other radio stations. So take it or lump it. So not only have they done the listeners a tremendous disservice, not only have they eliminated an enormous number of jobs, because like that thing we, from the hearings at the FCC on Friday talked about, they pump the same syndicated crap into just about every market around the country. But also the fact is that the people who are left in the business, their choices are just about gone too. If you don't like it here, see ya. Good luck. Go work for David Ross. That's what it boils down to. So they've destroyed this business, every possible aspect of it, for the listener, for the people who work in it, for the people who aspire to be in it. Nice going, cheap channel, okay? And as far as Rick and Suds are concerned, good luck to them. Good luck to Suds. Now see, there you go again, smirking a little bit. Why do you do that? Why do you always do that? They can't hear you smirking, which is why I always call you on it on the air, so they know you're smirking at Rick's mixed fortune.
He's a Mick.
There you go again, all you Irishmen out there. Protest. I want you all lined up outside, all the way to goddamn Ives Dairy Road. Well, it's not that far, I guess. Oh, and speaking of the media going crazy, Friday, CNN. Did you see what they were doing? We had the little chase here. Luckily, everything turned out okay. With a mail truck and the lady, a truck driver, who, by the way, had big balls. Nice going, sweetheart. She did it right. She handled herself very well. Thank goodness. That's why she's probably still alive. But right down the road here, practically. In fact, they passed right in front of the station, but they wound up 183rd and 27th Avenue. But not that far from where we're sitting right now. This all unfolded through the afternoon. And it was, a very bizarre event with a reasonably happy ending.
Always love it when they get the robot out.
They had the robot sitting there pointing at it. I'm looking at you, that kind of thing. And I go home and I turn on CNN. Horror in Miami! Horror in Miami!
No, alright.
Did you see that?
No.
Horror in Miami. Now, I gotta be honest with you. It was an unpleasant story, and it was unsettling, and especially for the truck mail lady. But it wasn't horrible, okay? It wasn't like, and especially at a time like this when everybody's really concerned about the potential for another terrorist attack. Something really horrible, but the media, don't ever confuse them, because they gotta have bigger and bigger headlines. They gotta have big red, smeared all over your TV screen. That's the way they do it. Just like it's still going on now. It's still going on now about the Columbia. It's almost 10 o'clock on Monday morning. It's over 2 full days after the explosion. We have seen every possible angle. We've heard every possible explanation. We've heard all the talking heads. Every theory. I got articles, if you go to our website, NASA dismissed advisor who warned about safety. Experts warned of budget cuts and safety concerns. So there are a lot of people who are offering their opinions, but in the meantime, they don't even have all the pieces yet. And then how much more do we have to hear about the pieces of the bodies that fell into the yards of the people in Texas? Do you think we need to hear a little bit more? Maybe we could see some of the pictures on television, huh? Of a leg here and a arm there. What? I mean, what is wrong with you people? You're crazy people. You're nuts. And we take the heat here on this show for a few comedy bits? Because we have people out there who pretend to have no sense of humor, who want to be uptight, who want, and the thing with Bruce Fleming, by the way, I hate to break the news to you, Bruce Fleming is an umpire who works for Major League Baseball. He represents Major League Baseball. We are paid on this radio station, for example, to give our opinions, whether they're serious, comical, sarcastic, caustic, whatever they are. And I'm going to tell you another thing, even though it's very politically incorrect to say these days in America. And that is, and I've said it before, you show me anybody who doesn't have any prejudice, and I'll show you somebody who doesn't exist. There's no such thing. How many times have we taken that poll? And we have some of you liars out there, oh, I don't have a prejudice bone in my body. Right. Sure you don't. Who the hell are you kidding? And this thing with toast, whether, it's got nothing to do with whether you're a hockey fan or a Panther fan, that's not the point. The point is, this is just another example of how you cannot speak your mind in this country today without jeopardizing your job. Because everybody wants to tell you what to say and when you can say it and where you can say it. And I say to the Panther organization, screw you guys. That's what I say to you, okay? I'll be there Wednesday to see the Maple Leafs play, and that's the only time that I'll be coming to any of those games. And I got all my tickets for free, so all you freeloaders, oh, gee, can we have your tickets, Neil? No. That's it. I've had it. Screwing over, jerking the public around, trying to make something into something that it's not. Using your little puppets in the media there like that fat, pudgy Michael Russo to write a puff piece, all that bull crap. I'm surprised we didn't have a thing in the paper this morning about Ray Whitney falling in a Ranger game a couple years ago, before he got... And by the way, nice going, Ray. He ripped the organization big time. Nice going, baby. He didn't keep his mouth shut. That's the way they deal with the players in this organization. They treat them like crap. They blow them out of town. They get nothing in exchange, and then they badmouth them. Oh, he was bad in the room. He was divisive. He was selfish. Pavel was this. Ray was that. Right. And in the meantime, here comes another dreary season with a bunch of boring games and, a team that ain't going to make the playoffs. But how come you folks aren't coming out to give us your hard-earned money? I mean, we got tickets like $10 a piece, $1 a holler. How about for free? You want to come out?
No.
Show us a driver's license. Will you show up?
No.
No. Anyway. Be that as it may. And here's our 9 to 10 hour. I don't see a call on the board there, do you?
Well, we had one.
And?
Did you get that drop of Howard and Goldie saying blah, blah, blah?
Saying what?
Dick.
Oh. Did he play in the game? 147 votes on the poll. And by the way, Mo, let me say it again. Danny Heatley got 4 goals in the game, and the 5th one, which doesn't count as a goal, but nevertheless in the shootout. I just thought I'd mention that. He's trying to match the Sun Sentinel and the Herald, I guess. No interest whatsoever until the All-Star festivities, and because it was here in town. Oh, gee, this was a great event. Yeah, what do you know about it? Do you know anything about it, Mo?
No.
No. How were you personally impacted by the Columbia Shuttle disaster, I asked this morning on our poll? It was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. 101. How do you like that? So, the reason I took this poll, because I was thinking to myself, is it only me? Is it only me? 101 out of 147. Almost 69%. I didn't make that number up. Almost 69% said it was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. What else are you going to say? I'm not going to get all morose about it. It's a sad thing. It's unfortunate. It's, but that's it.
How does that help anybody anyway? Getting all morose and...
It helps the media. It's good for ratings. Makes more people tune in.
Not if we don't.
Somewhat impacted, 27. Very greatly, 15, and not at all 4. So only 15, less than 10% out of 153 people in this audience said they were very greatly impacted by the tragedy. So at least I feel a little bit more human now, that it's not just me, that I'm not some hard-hearted son of a bitch. I'm just a regular old son of a bitch, is what I am. As opposed to some mean-spirited, hard-hearted prick, like they say. Follow what I'm saying? George?
Prick.
Here's Boca. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay, sir?
Yeah, about the space shuttle thing. I felt bad for a little while. I said, well, it's too bad. But it's like, the airliner goes down and they lose 300 people or 250 people.
Right.
It's in the paper for a day or so, and that's the end of that. And, I was watching when the postal lady got taken over by the, and then, it ended peacefully. That was pretty good. But I was watching the news. People say, "Wow, we're all grateful that ended without a shootout," and that's baloney. They would have loved that.
The media would have been. They would have been having to change their underwear every 5 minutes if that would have been a shootout.
They loved it. One thing before I go, did you get a chance to look at the Sun Sentinel yesterday? I was reading the article about they're going to be using rap lyrics to teach English and history in some of the schools now.
No.
Yeah, it was a big article right in the second the front page. To open it up. Like the third page and the front page.
Well, just be careful what you say about it in public, mister.
Oh, no, it's really ridiculous. and it said, listen, I feel bad. The leadership in that black community is going to help them go.
No, you can't complain about the leadership because there isn't any. That's the problem.
And now they're going to test market it in colleges and see if it goes over, and then it's totally silly.
Shocking. And there he just went. Now, I don't think he, did he?
Yeah, that sounded like a normal one.
It did? Sounded like abnormal to me. Whatever you say, sir, I have no idea what you'll be saying. 9:56 at 560 WQM. I'll tell you, the Beast, I don't care what anybody says, the Beast is a midget now compared to what he used to be. I bet you when he comes in this Friday, he's down like around 230-ish. Well, I mean, that may not sound... There's a guy that was like pushing 300 not too long ago. And thanks to Balance for Life, he's lost the weight. He looks better. His head actually can fit through the door now, which is really something. There are few things we hate worse than guys with a big swelled head. Well,
he can fit through his collar now.
Anyway, no cooking, no shopping, no cleaning, no worries. What color? And no calorie counting, no carbohydrate counting, just delicious food. All of this is based on the formula of the Zone diet, and they do all the figuring for you. That's why it's such a pleasure, such a piece of cake, so to speak. They bring you a little black sack wherever you want them to deliver it, right to your door by 6 o'clock every morning. And in your black sack, there's the food for the whole day. So how much more simple can it be than that? The only choice you make is between two choices for each meal every day that you're on the program, when they remember to send you the menu, that is. Troy. I just mentioned that. And the weight just comes pouring off your body. And let me keep in mind, 3 delicious gourmet meals, 2 delicious snacks in your little black sack. There is nothing frozen. There are no artificial ingredients. There's no little boxes with a bunch of bird crap in there. It's delicious food made with the freshest, best ingredients, all kinds of great veggies and all other good stuff that you've ever seen in your life. So if you want to lose weight the delicious and quick, painless way, here's the answer for you. Those of you who have tried everything else under the sun, Balance for Life. Call them at 954-568-3229, and pretty soon you can look almost as beautiful as the Beast. Almost. 954-568-3229, or check them out on the web at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Finished with the sewer of this place. Jumped in a taxi cab, I said, driver, Central Park. He looked at me so quizzically, I could tell he was in the dark. So I acted out my park charade, and with my arms the trees I made. 'Cause nobody speaks English anymore. I went down to Miami Beach where the weather is nice and sunny. I walked into a liquor store, but the guy there talks real funny. I asked him for a pint of old Jim Beam. He says, "No entiendo." What does that mean? Nobody speaks English anymore. At the corner deli. Hell, I think I'm in Pakistan. Speak English, smelly. Or you can go back to Iran. I came here many years ago. Learned my ABCs. I don't say muchas gracias. I say pretty please. Jesus Christ. So get yourself to a classroom quick. You're in America now. Stop making me sick. Nobody speaks English anymore.
That is nonsense. Utter nonsense.
10 o'clock at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday to you. We're doing the best we can under impossible circumstances here at QAM. Can't you feel the walls like crumbling? It's like the walls of Jericho are tumbling down. Can't you feel it like... Either that or we left that damn bag in there again. Now wait till you hear this facts. This is going to set us off. And again, we're going to have real problems by talking about this. On Power 96, right down the hall. You know down here?
Yeah.
Can I ask you one thing?
Oh, yeah.
What's that crap they played on the hall? On Power 96 yesterday, they had a recording every half hour or so saying no one was working out of respect for the astronauts. They couldn't have fun after such a tragedy. I almost drove off the road, says this faxer, chronic faxer. I mean... Can I ask you one other thing? What are we all doing here today, then?
I'm bereaved.
Reacting to the shuttle disaster.
See that?
By the way, something.
Obviously, it's still a tragedy.
How could no one have been working?
Maybe the janitor was like playing tapes. I don't know.
We don't have an automated system over there.
Who's we? Well, what do you mean we?
We, the station.
We, as in we, Power 96, we?
In this building.
You're starting to sound like the guy from Lutz now. We.
We, the people in this building.
They. Them.
Those of us.
Those dudes.
Have no automated system over there.
How do you know?
I know these things.
Hey, if you know this company well enough, if they knew how to automate talk, we'd be out of here in 2 days.
If
2
a
minutes.
computer was playing the stuff, then someone had to be in there.
Does it say in here, a computer's playing the stuff? It says they had a recording on. Now, that doesn't mean that nobody was working. The recording was saying that now you're calling them liars. Not only are you making fun of the fact that we're trying to show a little bit of respect, but now you're calling them liars, and Kid Curry's going to come in here and beat you up a little bit. Or a lot. He likes to pick on little people. Maybe Carlos, too. Yeah, just for the hell of it, he might beat the crap out of you. While he's telling you about Anna squeaking her great ass. So there you go. I mean, talk about it. I don't understand that. It wasn't like 9/11. It wasn't like a president died or something like that, or like another terrorist attack. It was an accident. Like the poll says, Schmidt happened. 72.3% of you are saying that out of almost 200 votes already. Schmidt happens. It's sad. I mean, we're happy about it. We're unhappy. It's unfortunate. It's a terrible thing. But terrible things happen all the time. There's 6-7 billion people crawling around on the planet, okay? That thing on North Korea on 60 Minutes last night, I still can't get over that. I still can't. I wish you'd have seen it. You haven't got any idea. The hospitals have no beds and no running water. What they use for IVs, they use old dirty beer bottles with tubes stuck in whatever fluids they got in there. Don't even want to imagine. Maybe some old Meisterbrow. And they got tubes running out of there and going into the veins into people's arms. That's their idea of IVs. They showed people eating bugs, insects. They said there's almost no birds flying around because every time a bird comes anywhere near, they capture it and cook it up and eat it.
Bird's eye.
Yeah. They showed a nighttime aerial satellite view of North and South Korea and south of the border, because South Korea, of course, has become very cosmopolitan, and it's all lit up and a lot of light. And like pitch dark. There wasn't a single light. They have no heat. No heat. They showed this gigantic skyscraper that they built that's got so many structural flaws that it was never opened. It's just standing there. They show these condo buildings that the handful of affluent people live there, that they have apartments in. They also have no heat and no running water. North Korea. And we're worried about Sodom. Compared to the people in Iraq are like the people on Fisher Island compared to the people in North Korea. And that maniac over there, Kim Il-jung, he's got the goddamn bomb. He's moving them around now. They showed all the people out there goose-stepping. Those are the only people who get fed of the million people he's got in the military. I'd be nuking his ass before 6 o'clock tonight, I'll tell you that right now. If we want to have, find some people to be really worried about. It's amazing to me how, Stalin had all those nuclear weapons, and long after his death, the Soviet Union had as many nuclear weapons or more than we did, and somehow we're all still here. Oh! Huh. Weapons of mass destruction possessed by manifestly irresponsible lunatics, and somehow we managed to coexist.
Now, if we had gone to war against them...
Yeah, we wouldn't be sitting here talking right now, and that would solve a lot of problems. 205 votes. How were you personally impacted by the Columbia Shuttle disaster? It was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens, 150, 73.1%. Somewhat, 35. Very greatly, 15, 7.3%. Not at all, 5. 5. And the media can, look at this.
Beginning of Columbia's final voyage.
Here's a call from Sunrise. Hello.
Yes, good morning, Neil. How
yes,
are
sir.
you?
Buenos dias.
Yes, what we really got to do is worry about the people within the country. I think we got more problems here. I was watching PBS last night, and they had a story on Andrew Jackson and his wife Rachel, and due to the fact that her divorce wasn't final, he actually had married an adulteress. Anyway, the point being, in the 1820-something election against Quincy Adams, they went crazy and they used the fact that this is a Christian country. Mm-hmm. Now, this is only 50 years after the fact. Now, today, the front page of the Sun-Sentinel, if you take a look, there's a cross where some of the bodies were found. How do you know it wasn't the Jewish guy or the Hindu guy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's just the people within this country, all these evangelical idiots, they're the ones that we really got to watch out for.
Well, you can say that again.
That's what is outside of the country.
Amen. A good day. Blinded by the Right, David Brock. I'd go out there. I'd be on my way to the bookstore to B. Dalton's or Borders or one of those bookstores right now if I was you people. And I would sit there. I would lock myself in a room with a flashlight and a couple of bottles of soda or whatever. And I'd read it from cover to cover and find out how the hell we got to where we are right now. Not a pretty picture.
This from 3,000 degree heat.
I mean, can I ask you a question? How many days is this going to go on in the media?
Another week.
And let me say again, the only reason I wound up watching a hockey game yesterday, I'm glad I did because it was very entertaining, because I don't care about the All-Star game, because there was nothing else on. There was nothing else on. And you know what saved me the rest of the day? Boca Brian can relate. The Game Show channel.
There you go.
I want to say thank God.
Ew, God.
For the Game Show channel. I'd rather watch any day of the week 85-year-old episodes of Match Game, Hollywood Squares, the old one, or any of these, than watch this nonstop finger squeezing and hand wrenching. How long can it go on? What more is there for them to say? Are those astronauts still dead? Last time we checked, yes. Is the shuttle back in one piece yet? We don't think so. Ain't gonna happen. And how many more you know something? This, in the midst of all this other stuff. I may just lay down on the floor after I tell you this, because obviously nobody else saw it. Luckily, Saturday morning, I go get my haircut. The guy, Bill Clinton, he gave me a good haircut. He was very grateful for the tip, by the way. Go get a nice haircut. I come back home. It's now 9:10. I turn on MSNBC, and they're in the middle of, Houston's lost contact with the Columbia, and it's the first time you're getting an inkling that something is wrong, okay? Now it becomes obvious that the worst has happened. It gets to be about 9:30. So now they're putting on phone calls, this one at NASA, this one in Houston, this one from so-and-so, the local affiliate in Texas. About the fourth call they put on the air on MSNBC. You haven't heard about this?
No.
The guy calls in a dull voice and says, and I'm just paraphrasing because I don't want to remember the exact words. I spoke to a close personal contact of mine inside NASA, and he was fearful that Howard Stern was on the ship. And at that point, I said to myself, what's the use? This is one of those same assholes who used to call Larry King all the time. Sure. President Mobutu, I would like to know what do you think of the Howard Stern? And on rare occasion, it was funny, okay? In a sick way, which is, Howard's audience, in a sick way. But here we just had 7 people die. We had this horrible mishap. Grotesque thing that just happened, and here, yah. See what I'm saying? This is the crowd out there. I'm telling you, they just make me want to vomit. Make me want to puke. And I'm not blaming Howard for that. I mean, that's just a part of his crowd. Just like, not that we don't have the same, because we do. But isn't that it just left me sitting there like limp. I didn't know what the hell.
They'll always do that. They'll never stop.
Pretty funny stuff, huh? Pretty funny. You'd like to be able to trace that call and take that individual. I was going to say person, but that would be a stretch. Take that piece of crap and strap him into a chair and put him on network TV on all the networks and PBS at the same time and on all the cable affiliates at the same time and just watch everybody just beat him to death, stone him to death, like it says in the Bible. How can you find something funny out of that? Beat him up, by the way, Carlos.
I will.
Beat him up.
Again?
He's just a little, he can't help himself. Anybody who takes a bath in the sink, what do you expect? While he's washing his balls. 10 past 10 at 560 WQM. Happy Monday in spite of it all. We go on, baby. We go on. We go on. Right, Mo?
Yes.
You bet. We got the big Mo. Walked by him in the hall this morning, had a very strange moment. He was in there talking to Clarence in the doorway.
Yeah.
And I think that thing was like halfway down his shoulder. I'll guarantee you that thing's alive. It's moving. Hey, were you ever presented with an opportunity when you shoulda, coulda, or woulda, or done something but you didn't do it? Well, there's an incredible Fannie Mae mortgage rate out there at 3.45%. The rate's available by calling Financial Group toll-free 1-800-940-5363. If you were to compare a 7% rate with 3.45%, you'd save $3,500 in the first year loan for each $100,000 that you owe. $100,000 is only $447 a month out of your pocket. So here's an opportunity that ain't going to last long because it's a 40-year low. If you're thinking about refinancing or buying a home, do the smart thing right now. Not stupid, be smart. Call Financial Group toll free at 1-800-940-5363. The process is simple. The call is free. 1-800-940-LEND. Financial Group has been an equal housing lender to thousands of borrowers with the Fannie Mae program. Credit restrictions do apply and rates are subject to change if you delay. 5.34 APR. Call Financial Group today at 1-800-940-LEND.
Live and local. This is 560.
The radio's all yours now.
QAM.
Mention my name to Rice Marshal Gary.
Oh, I don't know what it is about them, their whiny little voices or their big noses, those goofy hats, tiny little schmeckles. I don't know, they just rub me the wrong way.
Anti-Semitism lives in every speech Hillary gives. It's in the news. Hillary hates Jews. Spewing hatred through the halls, busting people's matzo balls. It's in the news. Hillary hates Jews. Oi! You won't catch her lighting a menorah.
No.
God, she must have a wonderful aura. When she speaks, I wanna cry. She could use a good rabbi. It's in the news. Oh! Hillary hates Jews.
Now, you better not be playing that again, mister. I'll tell you that right now. Is it warm in here or is it my imagination?
It's a little warm.
It is steamy. What did you do? You got the jacket on. You turned it up to about 85.
Well, it's different in here. I didn't touch the thermostat.
You touched it, man. I'm telling you right now, I think you touched it. Here's the fact that says, let me turn that down. It's ridiculous. It must be, you could fry an egg on the floor in here. God, where's that music? Don't be playing that. 74.6 degrees in here. Do you have any idea how goddamn hot that is for on the inside here? Almost 75 degrees. Here's the fact that says, dear Neil, I love your show. You're the only person in this market who says the truth.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Except, of course, for George when he's on, but he's too lazy to do it all the time because it's, it's a cop-out. I just wanted to let you know that not all media people are crazy. I'm a journalist, and I refuse, underlined and in capital letters, refuse to use my degree in South Florida or any U.S. radio market. Good for you. I think the media should do a service to the people, not a disservice like South Florida and U.S. media. See you in Canada. Have a great day, eh? And back to you, sir. Thank you. Man. And I'll guarantee you we won't get one call, because the Panther people, first of all, never call anyway. But this thing about toast, it's not a big deal. He did the stuff in between periods. But it's just the principle of it again. You can't say crap. You can't say anything anymore. And we got all these pseudo-fascists running around now, busy telling people what they can say and what they can't say. Bull crap. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. In fact, Miguel was just here. He heard him talking about it. He was monitoring the Paul and Young Ron show, is what he said. He heard him be saying it. And let me say something else, okay, because the Panther fans all have got laryngitis and they don't speak out anyway. But I'm telling you, he was speaking, and just like I've been speaking for most of the fans out there who are pissed off that another cost-cutting measure comes down the pike, which is just what everybody said here over the weekend. Another cost-cutting measure, so to hell with the fans, basically, but keep buying those tickets, baby. They've had it. They've had enough, Alan. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil God.
Yes, sir, speaking.
I had to call you. Normally I love the show, but the reason I'm calling, Friday I managed to get on MSNBC. I was watching in the afternoon, and Rick Sanchez is on there in the afternoon. And
I saw that.
During the mail truck incident, he had Alex Pinellas on.
I saw that.
Oh, I wanted to jump out the window, and I live in a one-story building.
Right.
It was insane. I just talk about pandering and sucking up. It was.
I thought my TV was going to explode from the suction level. I have like a little monitor in the corner, and it was like peaking. It was like almost on overload.
Have a good
day. 567-0560. We got one call on the board, baby. I'll tell you, it's a real exciting Monday here. And they're probably busy sitting watching TV now, watching for more information about the Columbia, wouldn't you think?
I would think.
Not? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil?
Yes?
What's up, buddy?
Mushy phone, man.
I'm sorry about that. Listen,
Are you underwater?
No, actually.
Are you calling in the bathtub or in the sink like Carlos?
Carlos, no. Actually, I was just feeling a little under the weather. Had to call you, Neil, just to touch base. It's sad. It's sad. Innocent people lost lives, but I'll tell you what the real tragedy is. More people lose their lives, and this is factual, more people lose their lives in one day to alcoholism, accident vehicles, drugs, overdose, murders, crime, in one day than there have ever been lives lost in this, in this astronaut program. And what were you doing up there anyway, Neil? What was the mission, supposedly? Do you have any idea?
Well, that's like asking me what is the whole space program about. I mean,
yeah, I know. I know what you're saying.
I don't want to waste my time on that debate. Some people, it's $2 billion a pop for the ship itself, and then all the other billions. There's some people, a lot of great things that we've discovered from the space program.
Well, right, granted. Well, I'll tell you what another controversy is. The $50 billion they pour that's going to come out of my pocket eventually. Neil,
yeah.
Can I have a shameless request, Neil?
Can't understand a word that you're saying, man. I wish you had a better phone because it almost sounded like you had something to say. Underline the almost part. 567-0560. The cats got their tongues again. I realize that the public is in mourning. A nation in, what does it say? Where's that? What do I keep doing with that? Here it is. I keep trying to sit on it. Not good for my roids, I'll tell you that. A nation in pain. Big headline on the Sun Sentinel today. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, what are you people talking about? Haven't we been through enough already here? Didn't we already have 9/11? Haven't we been through enough grief and agony and scare tactics? Why is it that it's like the media is telling us what we're supposed to feel? That's what pisses me off. That's the new deal now. The media tells us how we're supposed to feel. Didn't I say this a long time ago, like with Alien? And I said, this is a child custody case. It's not a big deal. Oh, no, this is blah, 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 blah. And they made a big, they did pick and choose what we're supposed to react to. And let me tell you this. Luckily, our audience, which are a little more independent-minded than most, we got 73% who said so far, it was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. But they don't like that. See, you're supposed to be engrossed in this. You're supposed to be 24 hours switching back between MSNBC and Fox Fascist News and CNN, back and forth, and like your whole life is supposed to be bogged down in this stuff as if you're going to learn something new. And even if they do learn something new, you'll find out that they'll lie to us anyhow, like they did with TWA 800. Most of them, they lie through their teeth. We're never going to find out the real answer on that. 274 votes, 199 said it was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. How were you personally impacted by the disaster? 45 say somewhat. Very greatly, 21 at 7.5%, not at all 9. But with the media, you think it would be like 99.9% greatly impacted, like the end of the world, and just the three of us, Schmidt happens, See, we're going to go on a revolution against the media. Whatever you say, we're going to do the opposite. If you say jump, we're going to lie down. If you say don't do drugs, we're going to shoot up. Yeah, not just light up, we'll shoot up. Well, that's the American way anyway, isn't it? I got my little piece right here, baby.
I see it.
I got my little plastic piece. That's right, I'm going to paint that baby black. I'm going to make that piece hop right off his forehead tomorrow. Here's Deerfield Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay.
I happen to agree to 100%. These people, they knew what they were doing, and it was just, whatever they felt they were doing was right, but they put their lives on the line, and that was their job.
Right.
And
when you have it's just like firemen. It's like all the firefighters and cops in New York during 9/11. I mean, when you have a dangerous job, there are going to be times, unfortunately, when a bunch of people are going to die.
100% correct, sir. One other thing that hurts me is that Dr. Shapiro's commercial.
Okay, good. Call him up and tell him. 567. We don't mess with commercials, okay, because we are here, and this is the only show in the market that'll tell you the honest to goodness truth. We're here to whore the market for all we can, baby. We want the money. Don't be messing with our fine sponsors, which this show is sold out wall to wall. Pretty close. Pretty damn close. Now, if you'd like to sell sports spots, by the way, if you'd like to sell for QAM, we're desperate because some other station up there in Palm Beach stole away the whole sales department. Not our sales department, but the sports. The Dolphins and the Panthers and the Hurricanes and the, who else we got? Who have we got?
Oh, the Heat. We
don't have the Heat, jackass. But anyway, if you feel like you could sell this place, and believe me, if you can, good luck to you. Call them up. Give it a shot, okay? If you're really depressed about life, if you'd like to blow your brains out, come and work here for a couple of weeks. If you want to see how not to run a radio station, if you want to see what a really bogus joint is, if you want to see how bad Scran really smells, this is the place to come and figure it out, okay? You'll find things swimming around by her desk that have been already outlawed by the EPA. Things of unknown origin that are floating around in the air near her desk. Screw Ann. The evildoer. So come on over, you'll have a great time. Ask Scott Schwartz if you don't believe us. Ask Skippy. Ask P.D. Lenny. They're still here. Some of them. I was driving yesterday in the car, or whenever, it was Saturday from the track, and for the first time I heard that spot about soliciting for people want to sell. And I thought to myself, I used to hear this like in Sturgis, Michigan. We used to run these spots on the air for radio sales. But you know what? It happens like that. And somebody else comes in the dark of night and steals away your whole sales department. You're desperate. In fact, I saw Greg on the street corner this morning trying to drag people in here with a coat hook, a sky hook. He was.
I thought I saw him handing out flyers.
No, he wasn't handing out flyers. He was bringing them in here. He had Bobby Clark, Bill Barber, some of the old Philadelphia Flyers. He brought them in here. Dave Schultz, Charles Schultz,
Sergeant
Schultz. Or something that sounds like. Anyway, 567-0560. Nobody cares about toast. Well, if they cared about toast, they'd call Paul and Young. Let them deal with their own stuff, okay? Let them stew in their own toast. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Maricón.
Yeah. Here's North Miami Beach. Hello.
Hi, this is Steve in North Miami Beach.
Yes, Steve.
That last call is very indicative of what I wanted to mention. Did you hear about the phony phone call to Dan Rather on Saturday?
No.
On air?
Not another Howard Stern one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It must have been the same guy that did MSNBC. I just talked about that.
I didn't hear the MSNBC one. I heard the Dan Rather one.
Isn't that lovely?
He's staring at the screen. The guy says that he's from Texas and that he found a piece of wreckage out in his yard, and he called the police, and they came by.
Yeah.
And they looked at it, and they told him that it was one of Baba Booey's teeth.
Uh-huh.
And then Dan Rather is like staring at the screen, like he just doesn't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy sitting next to him at the anchor desk says, it's a crank call. And Dan says, he sort of hems and haws, and then they start to cut off the call. And just before they cut off the call, the guy yells over the phone, "You're an idiot." And then they cut it off. And Dan stares at the screen and he says, "Well, you're absolutely right about that. I am an idiot."
Really?
Yes, that's exactly. Well, he didn't mean it seriously, but he said, "You're absolutely right. I am an idiot, but I must apologize to the audience. Blah blah blah. These things happen, and so on and so forth." But I couldn't believe it. I mean, these guys get through to anybody.
And don't you often wonder how the hell they get the numbers to get through? I mean, wouldn't you think that they'd have inside lines that the responsible people in the news media would have those numbers, and not just some schmuck from off the street could call in?
Well, look, in a news emergency, if something comes in the general switchboard, they send it to the newsroom. I used to work in the news business.
Yeah.
They send it to the newsroom. They'll listen to it. They'll pass it on to the editor. The editor will listen to it. The editor will ask somebody, "You want to put this on?" And boom. I mean, it's going to happen. It'll go through 3 or 4 people, but some of them are going to go through.
Yeah, I hope they trace the call and fry him on TV, right on Dan Rather. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for the bad news. So we made the rounds on all the networks, okay? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
If the media's reacting this tragically to 7 Americans dying, what's going to happen when we go to war against Iraq and the body bags start coming?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's going to be, a lot more than 7 people.
Yeah.
So, let's put this in perspective. I mean, we're looking at a war.
Now, the media can't put things in perspective. Don't you understand? They have to exploit it for everything it can get. 1027 at 560 QAM. I'm going to try to tell you all of this just one time today, well, maybe 2 or 3 times, but if you want a free spaghetti dinner, come out tonight to Pompano Park Harness Track. That's right. This is one of the most exciting things that might ever happen in your life when you live in this town. A free spaghetti dinner at Pompano Park tonight. Everybody who buys a Pompano Park program tonight gets a dinner coupon good for a free spaghetti dinner on the 4th floor Players Lounge. Dinner includes salad, rolls, and butter, a heaping plate of pasta with marinara sauce. It's too good to be true, but it is, so come on out. Pompano Park is open for live harness racing 5 nights a week. 5 nights a week starting this week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. First post time 7:15 p.m. And as always, free general parking, free admission every afternoon and night. Pompano Park now races on Thursday nights for the month of February, and they're offering a special ladies' night every Thursday with free bingo for ladies only. More than $1,000 in cash and prizes will be given away every Thursday for the bingo games. Don't forget every Wednesday night is dollar night. You can get you a draft beer, hot dog, soda, large pretzel, or popcorn for just $1 a piece. And starting this Saturday, it'll be the opening round of the $250,000 Isle of Capri Pacing Series, featuring many of the top horses in North America racing right at Pompano Park, where Brian Sears continues to be God. Nice going, Brian, baby. Pompano Park on Powerline Road, a block south of Atlantic Boulevard. Don't forget, free spaghetti dinner tonight and live racing starting at 7:15 at Pompano Harness.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Is sick and needs help badly.
Tonight on Fox, it's The Asshole.
Sure, I wouldn't mind walking up the escalator, but I can't seem to squeeze by Miss Fat Ass ahead of me here.
The man that says what all of America is thinking.
So you don't understand English, huh? Well, then you won't understand it when I say this. You
Whether at work, home, or even the mall, the asshole will make you proud to be an American.
Yeah, and Linda, after the funeral, why don't you swing by your mom's old house and see if you can find her handicapped parking plate? I think that would really come in handy for me.
He's the asshole. Tonight at when he feels like coming on.
That really is an asshole thing to do, isn't it? That's really, really good. I like that.
You asshole. 10:32 at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday to you. Well, I tell you, they're in a deep funk today. Maybe the media's right. Maybe this community is really in mourning because we got one call on the board, and it's from Miami. Hello.
Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
Listen, in all the excitement over the weekend, did you miss a little blurb, or did you see the blurb in the Herald Business section about what Uncle George is about to do to us?
About?
He wants to take away the 40-hour work week and do away with overtime pay.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, so now we can work for 60 hours and get paid less money, which
Excellent.
is more
There
money
you
into
go.
the economy.
Or we can just take up a collection and put it in front of every rich person's house. That sounds good.
Exactly.
That's
I
what
just
Friar
wanted to
Tuck
know
said.
about that.
And have a great day. Okay, that's the end of the calls for today. Clear Channel is an illegal monopoly, says lawsuit. A tiny Denver concert promoter is taking the most powerful force in the music industry to court. The grumbling inside the music business has been growing for months. Now an independent concert promoter in Denver has come forward to assert in court what many have been afraid to say out loud, that music industry giant Clear Channel Communications runs an illegal monopoly that thwarts competition.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Filing an antitrust suit in Denver federal court late Monday afternoon last week, Nobody in Particular Presents, or NPP, a small promotions firm that over the years has handled local concerts for Pearl Jam, Sarah McLachlan and the Beastie Boys, among others, charges the company with using monopolistic, predatory, and anti-competitive business practices. Well, we already talked about them on Friday. It's nothing but a monopoly, like I said, destroying the radio industry and the concert industry and the billboard industry, and you name it. Thanks to our friends in the federal government who just say, hey, we never met a monopoly we didn't like. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. Guess who died, by the way, George? Depressing news. Thank God for these faxes, by the way. Keep them coming. Because the phone is dead as a doornail today. Anthony Isley.
No.
Best remembered as half of television's glamorous detective duo in the series Hawaiian Eye. Died Wednesday. He was 78. No death was announced. Died Wednesday. And this is from the AP today. I guess it was a little slow. Kind of like Dr. Laura's mother. Isley played Traces Steele to Robert Conrad's Tom Lopaka in the show. Don't you remember that? Hawaiian Eye?
No.
I don't either. The show, which ran from 59 to 63, also starred Connie Stevens as Cricket Blake and Ponty Ponce as taxi driver Kazuo Kim. The show frequently had crossovers with 77 Sunset Strip. Isley, originally billed as Fred Isley, till Warner Brothers changed his name to Anthony Isley for the Hawaiian Eye role, began his TV career in the 1950s with appearances on Operation Secret, The Real McCoys, and Perry Mason. It almost makes me want to reach for those theme CDs, you know? Or maybe that's looking at this phone. Let's play all the TV themes today.
Oh!
And then we'll go up and down the whole thing and find out what's objectionable about every comedy bit we've got. Which ones are racist, which ones are anti-Semantic, which ones are anti-Julio, sexist, disgusting, vulgar, grotesque, indecent. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil. You just took me off my topic for a second. I want to say that Dr. Laura is got to be the most despicable person I've ever even heard. Or
She's in the running.
The worst. I mean, she's on the space thing. Do you think that we should cut back the amount of money we spend on sending these shuttles up there?
No.
Okay.
No, because with this administration in power, believe me, Mars is starting to look pretty good.
All right, I just thought that maybe we could take some of that money and put it somewhere else and then lay off the space thing for a couple of years.
No.
All right.
I think all we got to do is eliminate the tax cuts from the rich, and there will be all the money you're looking for right there.
Well, I mean, let's talk about something that may happen, because we know that's never going to happen.
Yeah, good point. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Neil.
Okay, that takes care of calls again for today. Another Monday in paradise. Another Monday, I'm all whipped up to a frenzy. It seems that the calls are in direct proportion. In other words, the opposite. If I'm whipped up to a frenzy like this morning, then there's nobody on the phone pretty much. And if I come in like, then all of a sudden, they're all whipped up. We're just not whipping it together. That's the problem,
You're out of sync.
Exactly, out of sync, like Justin, out of sync. 5670560. Let's see. Oh no. During the chase last Friday, the postal truck, some moron called into Channel 6 News claiming to be with one of the police departments. When they put him on the air, he asked, where do you think this is headed? He replied, to New York to see Howard Stern. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's pathetic. I think it was Miguel made that call. I could recognize the accent. Now, see, this is the problem with these people on the fax machine. I don't want to say Jeff High's neighbor, David. Once in a while, David, you send us something worthwhile. He sends me a thing about Godfather 4 Unlikely, the death last Friday of Mario Puzo. Do you know how old this article is? Older than Methuselah's grandpa. Hey, go get a life, okay? Go hop in a hot tub with Fat Boy. Dave, you idiot. Here's Pompano. Hello.
Yeah, I'd like to talk in depth about the War of 1812, but before I do that,
okay.
I'd like to want to know what the
Oh, this is the crazy guy. The crazy guy. 5670560 pound 560. Yeah, let's go back to those calls, Neil. We don't want these bedtime stories for all of those months because the calls are what make the show, like this lunatic that calls every day now. The crazy guy. Is he amusing?
No.
Is he entertaining?
No.
Is he interesting?
No.
Is he annoying?
No.
Not even that. He's not even good enough to be annoying.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. Maybe he can run this place. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I'd like to talk about Mullen this morning.
Yeah.
He got insulted because the umpire called that lady, and it just so happens that she's Jewish, and he's Jewish, a bitch.
Jew bitch.
If there would have been a Hispanic or a black woman, I don't think he would have been so outraged.
How do you know that?
The way he was sounding today,
Mm-hmm. I think he was desperate. I think, quite frankly, this story is like a non-starter. I mean, it's a story, but it's not a big deal. This kind of crap happens.
I'm not a fan of his, and I don't like him at all. I'm a Dolphin fan.
Right.
And let me tell you, the only reason why I listen to him is because you come right after him.
There you go.
I would turn off the dial.
He owes me big time, man.
He owes you big, He should come in on his knees.
In fact, I want to borrow one of those hairpieces for the rest of the week. Have a great day, amigo.
Have a nice day, sir.
Okay. Are you eating bagels in here again? Oh, brother, you talk about the pot calling the kettle pink. Wow.
What? It was out there.
Little virulent anti-Semite like you is eating bagels. By the way, that email wasn't even about me. I don't want to see who it was about, the one that they started. And interestingly enough, though, because the impression was dropped, and because we do have that Bill O'Brien bit, Jewish Lightning, which I played this morning, I assumed it was, which just got me madder than a wet hen. And that impression was left to kind of hang there. And then all the calls that came in about that, since nobody really gave a crap about anything else, it was like, well, Neil is this, and then it was that professional Dennis. Hey, Dennis, maybe you can elope with the Pope, okay?
Hey, that rhymes.
I understand that the altar boys are turning him down lately.
Well, you can't get it up.
For the swish guard? You know what they say, never let down your swish guard. Here's Miami Beach, hello.
What's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Neil, leave that mango muncher Julio alone.
Okay. Oh, that's it? That's it. 5670560. I'm playing music today, man.
All right.
I'm starting a whole new floor mat. What's that?
Flamenco guitar.
Oh! Shut it off. So yesterday, during the All-Star, and I don't want to get into another ethnic thing, because far be it from us to do something like that. But they had a hoochie-coochie thing. Did you see that? During the entertainment? I mean, it wasn't bad enough they had Sheryl Crow. That's enough to piss me. And the Goo Goo Dolls. Oh, no. They had the one guy strapped down on the stage, the Goo Goo Dolls. He kept, floating up in the mid. It was kind of exciting. Stanley C. Panther kept having to run after him, pull him back. But, they had a hoochie-coochie routine there during, between the second and third period. And I thought to myself, is that what this is all about? This is in Sunrise. And by the way, would somebody tell Bob Cole that the arena's not in Fort Lauderdale, it's in Sunrise? Huh? Hey, Coley, I think your hairpiece is getting a little bit too tight also, sweetheart. And somebody tell my good close friend Harry Neal of the Maple Leafs, who was done in the color on CBC, tell Harry that we don't want the shootout in regular season games, okay? I love you, Harry, but the answer is no, and no. No chance. 20 before 11 at 560 WQM. Look at this. I got the Pompano Park spot out again. If they got me brainwashed or what?
Yeah.
Well, I had a good night Saturday. I cashed a few tickets. Not at Pompano necessarily. Brad Kramer is God in Detroit. Nice going, Brad. Anybody know who I'm talking about?
No.
Good. Let's keep it that way. See, something, I just figured it out. Talk about stuff that these people have no idea what it is, and then there's never going to be a problem. They can't get pissed off and insulted and uptight about something. Let's find a bunch of ethnic groups that they never heard of before, and we'll pick on them. Huh?
The vegetable people.
Oh, are you kidding me? Look out the window. They're all out there. 19 before, in fact, forget about the window. Just open up the door, look down the hall. Go down to where the management is.
Yeah.
Talk about a walk-in vegetable. Although he'll probably be in about 1:30 to see you again this afternoon. Schmooze a little bit. Hey, I want to tell you about a great place, the Emerald Coast Chinese Buffets with 3 South Florida locations. They're in Sunrise, they're in North Miami Beach, and their newest location is in Pembroke Pines. Start out your mouth-watering experience with delicious soup. In fact, you can take all 6 soups if you like. Eat a couple of them, put a little bit of it in your pants, loosen yourself up a little bit. They got fantastic dozens and dozens of delicious entrees, Oriental surf and turf on the weekends, New York strip steak made to your order at the Gourmet Center, a sizzling Asian grill featuring teriyaki steak, shrimp, chicken, seafood, and hand-carved prime rib. See, it's this room again. No phlegm all weekend. I come in here right away. I got a phlegm job. The Emerald Coast promotes healthy living, too, because they don't use any MSG. There is no crap, no cornstarch, and only cholesterol-free oils and all the cooking. Believe me, you'll taste the difference. Everything is fresh, crunchy, and stupendous. Their buffet features a full salad bar, new sushi bar, fresh shrimp cocktail, too, and now Emerald Coast Lobster Fest is back featuring lobster thermidors and lobster bisque as well. Bring along a crowbar, stuff that baby in your pants, and open up a little room for dessert, and chow down at the dessert bar, featuring pies, cakes, pastries, ice cream with all your favorite toppings, and fresh fruit, a perfect ending to an unbelievable feast. Emerald Coast, you'll find them in Sunrise, at Pine Island of 44th Street, on Collins Avenue just north of 163rd, North Miami Beach, and at the intersection of Flamingo and Pembroke Roads in Pembroke Pines. Emerald Coast accepts reservations, takeout and delivery available too. Call 954-572-3822. 954-572-3822. Go there and pig out a gigantic feast at the Emerald Coast Chinese Buffet.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Super Bowl and the voice of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They don't come any better than Neil Rogers.
Yes.
Ten 10:47 at 560. One thing we know about Joe Carroyo.
He's an asshole.
That's for sure. Anyway, here's a fax. It says, so what if some dumb fat umpire called someone a Jew bitch? It's not news. No one cares. What if it was the truth? Has anyone considered that? Take Dr. Laura. She is a Jew bitch. Which we agree with that. Take Mo Howard David. He's a Jew bastard. Just ask anyone who ever waited on him in a restaurant, it says. Jews, spics, niggers, crackers, guineas, wops. It's all part of Americana, just like Mom's apple pie. Signed Prejudiced in Miami. There you go. I've been telling the public that for years. Words are words, baby. But everybody's uptight. And boy, if you say something about our organization, we'll never get one call on that, you know what? On that toast thing, and it just frosts my ass. It burns my toast. And I don't even know who the hell he is, other than I see him up there in between, on the big jumbotron there. He does an okay job. He's better than our goofball that we had from Power over here next door. Remember him? He was trying to do that. What's his name?
Tony the Tiger?
Tony the Tiger. Not a bad guy, but he was so out of his element, he did 1 or 2 games and I ripped him on the air and he resigned his position. Of course, I think we know what his position is, but nevertheless. Freaky Carlos told me what his position was, but I'm not going to repeat it. What are you laughing about, huh? You little squirt? We know what your position is in the sink. In the sink. Next time, in fact, tomorrow morning, I might just walk in there real quick and just punch down that thing, punch the plunger down and let you go right down the drain. Might as well, the rest of us are here. Right down the drain. I might just do all the bedtime stories the rest of the day, because I can see I can pump it and squeeze it and yank it and twist it. There ain't going to be nothing going on this phone. Nothing. We got one call here, one at a time. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
No, you're not. Well, you're just about holding on, but listen.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I
got both hands above the table here. I'm not holding on to it.
Well, I think you should go back to no calls. You were the talk of conversation over the weekend at a party, and we really enjoy you. You know what? We enjoy you, not these other assholes that are calling during the day and trying to screw up your day.
Yeah.
So you know what? Go back to no calls and teach them a lesson.
What do you mean, teach them a lesson? What does that mean?
Well, keep them off the air because they don't appreciate the genius that you are.
No, it's not just that. It's just that they have nothing to say. It's not a question of being a genius or a moron. It's that they have nothing to say about anything. Here it is 27 years later, and I still haven't figured out that they have nothing to say except the same old crap.
Well, an enema, maybe, they need.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, he was a little porked off, okay? He said, goodbye. Bye. Yeah. 5670560. Not going to get to me, mister. I'll tell you that right now. Not going to bother me. Just deliver that check. Next Monday is payday. You waltz right in here with that check clearance, and I'll waltz right over to the bank that afternoon, and on it goes. On and on and on. For another month or two. I mean, for however long. I can tolerate it. I mean, what they've done to this place, I'm serious. There are people on death. This is the truth. There are people on death row for less what the management of this place has done to it. In the last year, about the last year. And even though that bit that I played before about the 9 to 10 hour, even that bit spoofing what we had on before with Ron up the Hershey Highway, you know something, a year ago at this time, in spite of all of the angst we were going through here, the ratings were pretty damn good. Winter book a year ago. They were like, remember that? A gigantic book out of nowhere. Maybe because of all the confusion that was going on. I don't know. Who knows why it was.
They were tuning in to see what's it going to be this day.
Yeah, who's going to be on today? Is it going to be Ron and the Hershey Highway? Is it going to be Carolyn? Is it going to be Geldy? Is it going to be Defoe with or without the ankle bracelet? Well, you know, what's it going to be? So we kept them on their toes. We had Mark Vandermeer one day, and then just to really shock them once in a while, we'd stick in there too to really piss them off. You know? Who else did we have in there? Everybody that would, like, within a 10-block radius. In fact, if Radius would have shown up, we'd have put him on the air too, with or without his toothbrush. 567. That last guy, I think, had a good point. Go back to the bedtime stories, Neil. Teach these people a lesson. Everybody else is losing their freedom of speech. These people have got their freedom of speech, and they still have nothing to say. And that's something? That's the best part of it. Just wait until Uncle Sam comes along and says, oh, we can't have any more telephone talk shows because who knows what these people are. They might even criticize the government. And we can't tolerate that. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
You know, Neil, I think you're right. I think half these people are traumatized with what Bush is up to, and that leads to a bigger problem in general, that they just don't care. Nobody speaks up. Because if they did care, they'd care about the abortion issues, they'd care about the economy, they'd certainly care about the stock market at this point.
They don't.
And they care about the way your show is also.
Yeah.
You know, the fact of the matter is you're absolutely right. You have your piss and vinegar back and nobody's calling anymore.
Right, that's right.
I agree. I mean, you know, your show is 5 times better than it was 6-8 months ago.
Right.
And at this point, you know, I can't even believe what happened to all the callers, including the Kakamoon lady.
She died.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should be. No, you had no way of knowing.
No, but anyway,
But you will feel bad, though, all day about having said that.
She was dynamite.
She
honestly.
was.
She was classic. But Neil, seriously, please, let callers come in. Your show is great. I don't care what's happening. Anyway, even George is good, although I swear to you, he's a closet fag.
Is he really? Okay, not my type. Now, why did he hang up right after he said that? I would let him continue. I think the audience would be interested in hearing more about his theories. George doesn't care. He's drinking a free Snapple. He don't give a crap, as long as it's free.
Yeah, it's all an act.
What does that mean?
You know, the whole marriage and the kids and everything.
Oh, wait, see, there he goes again. Why are you responding to him? He was okay.
Why?
He just wanted to take a little shot. No, you're
it.
not. Now you're getting all defensive and all psychotic.
No, I'm not!
Yes, you
no,
are.
I'm not!
Yeah.
I'm never defensive.
Ah, jeez.
Stop attacking me.
By the way, next time at Treasure Island, a week from Wednesday, George is bringing his boyfriend. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Keep them guessing, okay, George? That's the way to do it. Keep them guessing. Keep them off balance. Just like Mo, you never know which piece he's going to have on a given day. Every day comes in. Is it going to be the purple one, the yellow one?
Jorge.
The blue one? Here's Oakland Park. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to call and let you know I'm on my way to Roger Dean Stadium. I'm going to go with the caravan today, stop by stop, and support our local baseball team.
Go about what stadium?
Oh, the Marlins are having their kickoff to the season as a caravan through Palm Beach County, so we're going up to Roger Dean, and that's where it's starting.
Jimmy Dean Stadium?
Yeah, free Jimmy Dean hot dogs today.
Yeah.
And we'll be able to meet the players, sign autographs, all that good stuff. It's happening at 11:30 to 1:30, and then they move south.
Now, do we know who any of the players are besides Pudge? I noticed that Pudge has got a big statue of himself in front of his house. Did you see that?
No, but I did see the statue on the Intercoastal down in Fort Lauderdale.
No, we don't mention Al Goldstein's name on here. 5670560, pound 560 on it. You didn't see that? Pudge has got a huge statue of himself in front of his Miami Beach home. It's a little pudgy, but got a huge ass. And then I read that one article about how he's not going to be here very long. Well, what did that mean? So in other words, this is just another one of those deals where they they don't want to really pay him all that money. They're just going to use him as trade bait, put him on a big hook. Have to be a big, heavy hook, I'll tell you that. We love you, Pudge, no matter what they say, okay? I thought he was going to play in Japan, George. You were telling me all about that. And what about all the calls about toast? Huh? The Panther organization fires the Toastmaster. That'd be like if Stanley C. Panther dared to say, oh, I thought that trade sucked. I like Sandis Ozolinsh, you know? And by the way, Stanley, did you see him lined up to shake hands with the players at the end of the game yesterday? I almost peed my pants. They get done with the shootout. The game is over. And everybody's all excited about how great it turned out. And the players line up like they do at the end of the playoffs, and they're shaking each other's hand. And Stanley C. Panther is in the line, and actually a couple of the players shook his hand. Which I thought, well, nice going, Stanley. You're okay in my book, but don't knock the organization, because you'll be out. You'll be out faster than you can butter your toast. Okay, sweetheart? I'll be there on Wednesday night for the Maple Leaf games and all the Leaf games here in the future for the next 500 years, but other than that, to you guys, okay? I came back for a little while, had to put up with that Usher crap up there, with that blonde bitch. I've had it. I'd rather go to the track 5 nights a week and make a contribution. Feed the horses is what I'd rather do. I'd rather sit there and argue with Dick Feinberg about Dave Ingraham. Have him tell me that Don Brainerd's the best driver that ever came down the pike. The only problem is he couldn't find which way he was going on the pike. He kept going out in circles, and he was like out there 8 wide on the road. Donnie Brainerd. You know what we're talking about?
I have no idea.
Good. See, I got the new formula now. I got it down to a science. Wait till that guy calls in again and says about how he grew up with Leroy P. and Floyd Venable Jr. Remember that guy?
Who?
I grew up with Leroy P. Yeah, P on this, okay, you idiot. All these groupies out there, they're sitting listening to tapes from my show 50, 100 years ago. Over and over, just to hear the sound of my voice. They don't care what I say. You know, those people that call up and say that, they're not just sucking around. They're right. They just want to hear the sound of my voice. So when I croak, what they're going to do is they're just going to have a tape of me. In fact, right here, saying this. It's Neil's voice. He died 20 years ago, but there's Neil. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm like their security blanket. Don't you understand?
You'll have to record some liners before you croak, like, this is Neil, I'm dead, but...
Or maybe they could just stick a mic in the box. 10:56 at 560 WQM. You know, guys, size does matter. They won't have trouble closing my box because of that, I'll tell you that. And according to the Florida Department of Labor, computer professionals have got really big ones. Paychecks we're talking about. That's what counts. A big, fat paycheck. According to the state of Florida, computer careers are among the highest paid and highest demand. Fast Train can help you achieve your new high-paying computer career in just 4 short months. Fast Train's got locations all over town for you. They're in Kendall, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Pembroke Pines with day, evening, and weekend schedules, so there's no excuse to stay in that dead-end job working for some schmuck. Pick up the phone and call Fast Train toll-free at 1-8... Look at George laugh when I say working for some schmuck. He knows what I'm talking about. For some putz. Some goofball. Call Fast Train right now at 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. That's 1-866-FAST-TRAIN. They got full-time job placement and guaranteed financing. Uh-oh, George, there's a truck coming out there. He wants to throw both of us under it. Call Fast Train right now, 1-866-FAST-TRAIN, or check them out on the web if you like at fasttrain.com. And now you, too, can have a big, dangerous one.
Live and local. We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Am I right or what?
MONDAYSUCKS.
Eisner?
Screw on. You think blackmailing someone's alright?
Roy!
A big blackmail, especially an extract between your thighs.
Roy!
Screw on.
kind of bitch I bang tonight.
Oi!
I'll smack your head and bruise up your body the way you like.
Roy!
Through ahead. You get my mojo long and strong. Give charity money to OJ and don't care if it's wrong. You blonde and you white, you just be my type. The kind of bitch we like. You know how to do it right. You got a date with OJ tonight. Go!
Sorry, I screwed up. I should have played F-U-C-K for that, but I didn't. It's 11:02 at 560 WQAM. Here's a fax that says, a good fax, by the way. It says, it's a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. In response to our poll. I can't believe the media coverage on events like these. It's a sad commentary on our society. I'm not condoning these prank calls, says Jeff in Hollywood. Thank goodness for that, Jeff. But, seriously, what else is there to do when out-of-control media preempts everything on the air for senseless chatter about tragedies that unfold? I don't see what one has to do with the other. But anyway, it says Brian Williams must have spent 9 consecutive hours on Saturday going on and on and on about a developing story while speculation ruled the day, asking the most ridiculous questions I've ever heard. If any of these anchors had to sit home and watch themselves drone on and on for hours and hours, I think the suicide rate would go up quickly. Now wait till you hear this part. Had the displeasure of dining at the Stadium Diner last Friday when Mo Gildy and 2 others from the Dead Air No Hair morning show sat down at the table next to us. Well, those 2 others at the No Hair Next, whatever that is, morning show, they weren't from the morning show. What I'm hearing is that it might have been a couple of middle-level management types, is what I'm hearing. The only good thing about seeing them was replaying those Mo bits in my head over and over again. Thanks for brightening my day. Nice rug, Mo.
Oh, I thought he was going to have some eavesdropping.
P.S. Greg called. Your paycheck was on that hijacked mail truck that was confiscated this past Friday, so don't wait for it. There you go. See, already they're making excuses. The payday ain't until next Monday, but now we know that it was on that truck. Just like that check that Duff mailed me, like, what was it, a year ago? 5670560. We got 401 votes on the poll. How were you personally impacted by the Columbia Shuttle disaster? It was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. 284. 71% said that. And you know what? They're right. That's what I voted. What did you vote? You didn't
I
yet.
didn't.
Well, you will.
I will. I mentally voted.
Carlos, he said, what tragedy? What happened? A little out of touch, Carlos, as usual. It's hard to see TV when you're in the sink. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could put like a little reflector on top of the mirror above the sink there, so you can catch a little glimpse. 284 say Schmidt happens. Somewhat impacted. 67 people say that. Very greatly, 33, a little over 8%, and not at all, 17. 17 heartless people say not at all. I mean, not at all is like, not a little bit, even I didn't say that. But they're entitled to their opinion. If they want to be a bunch of hard-hearted bastards, that's okay. What's wrong with that? Is there some law against being a hard-hearted bastard?
Not yet.
No. Because if there was, a lot of people in this place would be behind bars right now. Starting right at the top. Look at all the crap coming in on this fax machine, man. We're drowning in a sea of crap. Here's Coconut Creek. Hello.
Hey, Neil. Love your show.
Yes, sir.
I was at the All-Star game yesterday and the skills competition on Saturday.
Right.
And I said in section 117, I've had season tickets for the last 8 years, about 8 years. I know, poor me. But it was the stuffiest section that it was all NHL people, all people in suits who probably don't even like hockey.
Right.
It was quiet, it was miserable, and it's a terrible thing that the fans couldn't be down there close to the ice.
Yeah, well, no, but that's the problem with all these events, the World Series, the All-Star Games, that most of the Blue Noses get the good seats. The place is filled up with people who aren't really the local fans, and most of the people who want to get there to see it aren't able to get in anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there was more fancy jewelry than the word jerseys down there.
Very sad. Plastic.
All right, I love you guys.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye.
You notice the biggest ovations yesterday. Sandis Ozolinsh, who was traded away. Very bad deal. That's what everybody said, including my close personal friend, John Davidson. Bad trade, bad deal, cost cutting. Got the standing ovation. Number 2 ovation was not for Ole Jokinen, and he got a good one. But number 2 was for Ray Whitney. The dearly departed Ray Whitney. Love you, Ray. Didn't even get a chance to bond with him while he was here. Yeah, Rimmer, you're some friend, Rimmer. My good buddies Doug McClain, Ray Whitney, they're down here. Do I get to go out and eat and wine and dine with them? No. What a disgrace. My good close personal friend Rimmer. He's too busy orchestrating. They're playing golf in my backyard, taking pictures. Look at this, you know. Picking up the loose change they dropped out of their wallets. You ever see that ad where the old people are sitting on the couch and they got the old friends and they're like shaking them and all the change falls into the kind of, they shove them out and lock the door behind them. They're chuckling, laughing in a very sinister way. And now they start reaching into the cushions of the couch, pulling off all the loose change. You know that's what Rimmer's doing right now. Probably had every big wig, every medium wig, even Moe's wig in the house over the weekend from the NHL. Now they're feeling the change. I can just see him and Farrell, even the animals, the dog, they're reaching in under the cushions, crawling around under the couch. What are you laughing about? He's got to collect the cash to buy you that lunch someday.
Yeah.
The lunch that you're waiting for. I heard he's going to take you to a great place, the Pizza Lot, some place you'll like, where the price will be right.
Does he have to go?
That's what I always ask him. Here's Davey. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I can't believe you mentioned that guy's name, Rimmer. You know, he called the first team, they used to have a caller called Murray.
Let me ask you, are you eating like 2 breakfasts at the same time now? You sound like you got a mouthful.
No, I got my teeth worked on.
Yeah? Well, how about putting them back in your mouth would be a good start?
No, it's not that.
Come on, I can hear him fizzing in the glass behind you there.
He killed Murray. They had a guy called
He killed Murray?
They had an old guy named Murray used to call it. He made fun of him. And
good for him. Oh, that guy. Get out of here with that Murray guy. Get out of here. Can you believe this? We really got it made now, man. Clarence was telling me those demographics are like 95 plus. All the dead people listening to QAM. Can't imagine why. Kind of starts in the morning, you know what I'm saying? Kind of sets the tone for the rest of the day. Death plus 10. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I guess I'm the only one. I'm just foaming at the mouth. I'm just not nauseated with it. I'm pissed off and fired up about this. Look at this.
On the findings of this board. Darren?
Mike, when I think about everything that's coming your way toward Barksdale Air Force Base.
They want us to be morbid and depressed. They want to manipulate us, okay? If it weren't for the fact that I do enjoy watching my hockey games on there, I might as well take that TV set and burn it, you know what? I'd like to put a rock through it. All you people at CNN, I don't want to pee on your parade, but the world hates you, okay, like poison. They hate you. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what about Ed Jovanovski? He had a good game, too.
What about him?
He had a good game, too.
And?
Another all-star from,
You know something? I hear these people talking that crap. You know, Pavel, he never would have played like that if he would have stayed here. That's number one. And Pavel Bury's the most exciting player to ever put on a Panther uniform, okay? So all these jackasses who know nothing about the sport saying, oh, gee, too bad we still don't have Eddie. You've got to give something to get something in return, okay? So don't be giving me Eddie. Yeah, I notice he scores a goal in the crowd. Eddie, yeah, right. Well, Pavel was disruptive in the room. Any propaganda that they put through their mouthpieces in the newspapers, Mike Russo and David J. Neal, any crappy propaganda they put in it, and the public right away sucked it up because they don't know hockey from their ass in this town, which is why it was so great we had all this stuff here in the weekend for the kids. Mark Lowe at Pompano Park said his kid had become a big Maple Leaf fan because the Svalas used to be his neighbors, Robert Svala and his wife, and now plays for Toronto, and so he became a big Leafs fan, and he took him there Saturday morning, got a bunch of interviews, and Bobby Orr's interview, autograph. What did I say? He got his interview.
Autograph.
And he put his microphone in front of his pussy. He said, can you autograph this? He said, sure. Right after I finished playing golf with Rimmer. That's what Bobby Orr said. You know what they say about people who play too much golf, Ray Whitney? That means too much time on their hands. Too much time on their hands. Let's play that song the rest of the show for people that play golf. Oh, my God, especially in plaid shorts and varicose veins. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. And you know something? It is a damn good thing they had all those plastic people there to fill up those seats because, quite frankly, it would have been pretty embarrassing to have the All-Star game here in the usual 7,000 empty seats at the Mac Arena. And somebody tell my good friend Ron McClain that nobody ever threw rats in the sunrise in that arena, that it was back in the old Miami Arena. Ron, you're okay, baby, but since they gave you that new contract at CBC, your head is bigger than your whole body, okay? You've lost it. You're clueless. And that dog and pony show you put on with Gary Bettman every year, you're not kidding anybody. The whole thing must be scripted. What are you laughing about? Look at him. He's just sitting in there. Yeah.
No, you look at him.
No, thanks. Close to lunchtime. 11 past 11 already? Good golly. We're leaving here at noon today, by the way. We got a new schedule, 10 to noon. We just decided 10 to noon. If that don't work out, 10 to 11 sounds good to me. Or maybe 11 to noon. 10, you got to get up a little bit too early. 11 to noon sounds great.
Oh!
For the all-new Neil Rogers Show. Following 5 hours of, well, whatever that is. Don't you talk like that about our show. You know, I had the opportunity when he was standing in Clarence's doorway there this morning. I would have loved to just kind of like stood off to the side as he took his first step, just stuck my foot out. Because then I would have seen that thing fly right off. You know, I probably would still had to go home and change my underwear from laughter. I'd love to see that thing just either fly or hop right off his head. Don't you? Okay, I won't. Hey, if you're not getting sleep at night, there are only one of two possibilities, okay? Either your mattress is worn out or you work here, or both. 3 possibilities. And the answer is a great new mattress from our good friends at Dollar Mattress. Call them right now, toll free. 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES. You'll have a great night's sleep for months, for years, for a long time to come. Because they don't carry crap. They carry only the best names in the mattress business. They've got Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil in every size and style. And you get at least 30 days to try it out in your home with the best comfort exchange policy in the world. You get delivery that's never been heard of before. They deliver when it's convenient for you. Any day, 7 days a week, any 2-hour window that you prefer when you're going to be home. Instead of having you sit on your ass all day, wasting a day of your life. And then even sometimes not showing up like the other guys. Not going to happen. If you like to shop online, check out Dial a Mattress at mattress.com. That's their website if you want to see it before you buy it. Mattress.com's got pictures of the mattresses that the expert bedding consultants be suggesting. So if you want unbeatable everyday low prices, unheard of great delivery, and if you want to have that 30-day exchange guarantee, these are the only people in the world you can do business with and get that all-the-way deal. Dial a Mattress. Call them right now. You'll be sleeping in comfort tonight. 1-800-MATTRESS, 1-800-MATTRES for Dial a Mattress. The answer for a perfect night's sleep.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Asshole.
When it's time to make some change, pennies for Rimmer. He's so cheap it drives you insane. Pennies for Rimmer. When he sees the check coming, he'll start to run. For a free meal, he'll start funning like a Mumser schmuck. In Jeff's wallet it contains Neil's phone number. If he wants a juicy steak, he knows the tab is covered. So when it comes to supper and he knows that it's free, bring your pennies for him because he's so cheap. When it's time to make some change, pennies for Rimmer. Make sure your pockets contain pennies for Rimmer. You'll spend a fortune schlepping this guy around. Make sure that your wallet is upside down. If you say that you can't pay, then Jeff won't bother. But he'll be your friend all day for around $60. So if you want this guy to go out with you to eat, bring your pennies for him because it's your treat. So if you don't mind buying, then Jeff don't care. Just name the place and he'll be right there. The tip's inside the doggy bag to go. Bring your pennies for him because he is so cheap.
11:18 at 560. Another thing I forgot to talk about. So much on my plate, man. Saturday I'm driving to the track. See, it's always driving to the track. And here's who we got on the air together from the Mac Arena with all the festivities going on. Geldy and Jugs McDonald. Yeah. And I'm thinking, boy, you talk about a strange pairing, man. Jigs must have been wearing like body armor, so his back didn't get pierced by the darts from the Geldymeister. Wow. Here's a little punky, squeaky voice kid who's herniatically, desperately trying to get the Jigsmeister's job, and they're like on the air together? Wow. That would be like Tommy being on the air with Mo in the morning or something like that, although I hear that starting next week.
2 weeks.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a fax from Anonymous who says, Although I'm going through a separation with my wife, I wanted to thank you for making me laugh and making my day. P.S. I turned on Fox News Saturday. The first thing I hear is Lori Dew asking, is the shuttle explosion terrorist related? And then he says,
unbelievable.
Yeah, but of course Fox wasn't the only one. All of them had people on. Well, and Dan Rather's going on with a very serious look on his face, you know. They're very, very certain that any minute they should be ruling out, he's, in between, getting all goosed up there. The shuttle is 207,000. As a matter of fact, when it first started falling apart, it was more than that, because there was witnesses in California that said as it came over California, minutes before they saw pieces already falling off. So it was breaking up like 250,000 feet in the air or more. Surface-to-air missiles have a maximum range of 10 to 15,000 feet. This is up there 240 or 50,000 feet. Plus it's traveling at many, many times the speed of light, sound.
Don't those guys have those magic carpets that can fly real high and fast?
I never thought about that. We'll have to check that out. Could it be terrorism related? Could it have been like a suicide bomber on there, you think? Oh my God. It's a miracle that there's any mental health left in America the way the media's going now. Families in mourning. What a surprise, you know. Families are in mourning after losing their loved ones. Isn't that shocking, huh? It's a bulletin. It's breaking news. Here's a call from Sunrise. Hello.
Yes, it's totally ridiculous. I mean, they're just pushing this whole thing to the whole, as far as they can go and as wide as they can carry it.
They're milking it, and I mean, this is what they do, milking and exploiting tragedy. That's what really pisses me off. What more is there to say?
Right, and it has there's no way else to go with it. Why are you trying to stretch it and, you're trying to hide the fact that the economy sucks?
Right.
You know?
And we're on the verge of going to war and, start a war that's going to lead to God only knows what. And in the meantime, this is all they can talk about. In fact, if you'd have watched TV network news all weekend long, you'd have thought that Saddam Hussein, and Osama Yamama never existed.
Yeah. Yeah, after that. But I just wanted to also, I heard you talking about something about somebody filing an antitrust suit against a company. I want to know, is FP&L considered a monopoly?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But nobody's suing them.
You want to sue them? They'll cut off your electric faster than you can say Aunt Jemima, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Good luck to you, pal. We'll send you some candles and sterno. Good luck. Yeah. We don't believe in monopolies in America. We like to have, lots of competition. Or at least we used to once upon a time. Not anymore, baby. Let's watch all those little companies, all you little businessmen fall like a bunch of dominoes. Like Fats Domino right off that piano chair. Boy, can you feel that? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. And the guy that called before and said, I'm full of piss and vinegar and I got it back, he's right. And this audience, man, dead. Maybe they're all morbid. I doubt it because it was the same before this tragedy happened on Saturday like many, many years before. They've always been this way. But maybe that's it. Maybe they're a nation in pain like it says on the front of the Sun Sentinel. You people of the Sun Sentinel ought to be ashamed of yourselves. A nation in pain. We got almost 70% of those audience say it was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens, okay? They're not in pain. In fact, we also got another 4.5% who say they're not impacted at all. We're in pain. Why do I have to be in pain? It was an accident. It was unfortunate. It was tragic. It was sad. And then somebody sends me a copy of this article. We were wrong. I want you to say it right now with me. We were wrong.
Wrong.
Jim DeFeedy. Like all the other columnists here, he wrote one or two good columns. We thought, oh my God, the Herald's got a real columnist. No. Guess what? Wrong again. Where are the tears of 1986 lost in the dust of 9/11? Oh, I mean, this column is enough to make me scream. Ah! How do you know that wasn't a good one? Once again, I sit transfixed, watching an image in aircraft, no less, streaking across the sky, exploding and breaking up into scores of fiery pieces. Did he mention he's watching it breaking up over and over and over again from every angle that's ever been invented? Fast frame, slow-mo. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't say mo. Within a minute of turning on my TV, switching from channel to channel, seeing the ever-present breaking news banner, I move through a mental checklist. Is this terrorism? No. How many dead? 7. Casualties on the ground? Unknown but unlikely. I find myself ranking this tragedy in the context of recent nightmares, and it saddens me. The loss of the shuttle Columbia is a terrible event, but it is not the cataclysmic offering that we fear awaits us. The men and women who lost their lives were heroes, the blah, 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 blah. I remember 1986 when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded 10 miles high in the Florida sky. I was in my last year at Colorado State University, sitting in a political science lecture when a student ran into the classroom and screamed, "The shuttle exploded, the astronauts are dead, they're dead." 17 years later, I can still hear those words, still see that young woman's face. I remember the gasp and the tears, the prayers and the disbelief. Did you cry when the Challenger blew up?
No.
Ask me if I cried. No.
Did you cry?
I went to the student center and watched the Challenger explode 100 times on a jumbo TV screen. I couldn't move, I couldn't think, I was stunned and in pain. It took the events of 9/11 for me to feel that way again. I stared at my TV for the hours as the towers blah, 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 blah. Saturday's shuttle disaster left me more confused than pained. Oh, I mean, this column is enough to make me barf. I tell myself I haven't dwelt on the death of the astronauts because I don't need the additional pain such thoughts would bring. But if I'm honest with myself, I worry that even if I try, I won't feel bad enough. It won't feel bad enough. I know it's wrong to compare one event with the other, but the repetition of horrors in the world has made me, and I suspect others, somewhat hardened to this latest tragedy. I say that this knowing how poorly this reflects on me, and with no disrespect to the men and women of the Shuttle Columbia who lost their lives in the pursuit of science and knowledge. They deserve better than I'm able to give them. 17 years ago, I wept for a shuttle crew that died in a ball of fire. Saturday, I felt like crying because I didn't. I wonder how many times you voted on our poll about movies that made you cry.
Do you think they make them write articles like that?
I'll tell you one thing. They don't make them like they used to. 26 after, figure that out, okay? Think about it. 26 after 11 at 5:60. I'm getting all choked up from this room again here, man. I think Mo's got the poison gas in here. Either that or he dropped his bag right outside the door in an act of defiance just before he left the building. Think that could be it? So all we talk about on that show is about this one's a bigot and that one did this and this one's a bigot and blah, 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 blah. Stuff like that. Thank God. Thank the Lord that we got no bigotry on that show.
Jorge fills in for the pipe smoker this morning at 9 o'clock.
Hey guys, guess what women really want on Valentine's Day? It's for you to put a little thought and creativity into your gift. This year, express yourself in a fun and original way and say it with a Vermont teddy bear. Just call 1-800-829-BEER and a friendly bear counsel will help you choose from over 100 beers handcrafted in Vermont and delivered in a colorful gift box with a free card and chocolate. Tell her she lights your fire with the new burning love bear dressed like a hunky fireman with a love tattoo on his arm. Or say I'm wild about you with a jungle love bear. They even have an officially licensed Love Me Tender Elvis bear. Sending a Vermont teddy bear is creative and personal alternative to flowers, and it'll be around a long time after Valentine's Day to remind her of you. Sending a bear to the office so that her coworkers can see how thoughtful and romantic you are is a great idea too. Overnight and Valentine's Day delivery be guaranteed. Call 1-800-829-BEAR or shop online at VermontTeddyBear.com. This year, say it with a Vermont Teddy Bear for Valentine's Day and be sure and tell them that old Neil told you to call. 1-800-829-BEAR.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Dead babies?
Who? That's old Monica is to me a big fat hoe. Don't want to hear about her no more. I'm fed up with the media blitz. We know everything about the bitch we need to know. I don't want to see that smelly hoe. 300 pounds of pasty pus. Stop hoisting that bitch on us. Everybody's had enough of that big fat hoe. I don't really care about who she blows. What else can you say? We hear about her every day. Just make the bitch go away. That big fat hoe. Enough of that hoe. We're not enough of that hoe. That hoe. Don't want to hear her boink and squeal about her book and her movie deal. She's just a hoe. Obnoxious hoe. A spoiled hoe. Is that hoe?
11:31 at 560 WQM. No promos today, huh? Nobody's going out and doing anything exciting? I guess that's probably in honor of the tragedy. That thing
certainly
about Power 96, that just makes me want to gag, you know? I don't want to be knocking our good friend Kid Curry, but there comes a point in life where you just stop putting on a pretentious bunch of crap for the audience, you know? Am I right about that?
When does that start? Not with us.
Look on the calendar. I think it's about 2 weeks from Shavuos. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I think I got that frog out, thank God. Got the frog out of my throat. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yep.
How about getting rid of George and go ready?
How about getting lost, okay, asshole? How about just getting lost? Get on the old Hershey Highway. You probably got a lot of experience. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. That guy that said get rid of the calls, man, I'm thinking about it. I'm still retooling. I am. I'm retooling it. 9 o'clock hour today worked out well for me. See, just Wednesdays we're going to be doing our comedy bits 9 to 10. We can't do that every day because we'd wear them out. And our comedy bits to us are much too valuable and too important to wear them out. When in doubt, don't wear them out. So it worked out great because I had a lot of ventum, you know, that had to spew. That ventum, as one guy says, that illiterate asshole. Oh, I know that covers a lot of territory. Former resident of Boys Town files sex abuse lawsuit. Omaha, Nebraska. A man who lived at Boys Town, the home for wayward youth that was made famous by a 1938 Spencer Tracy movie, has filed a lawsuit alleging a priest and counselor molested him in the 1970s. James Duffy said in a lawsuit filed Thursday that he was repeatedly abused beginning in 1978, but repressed memories of it till about a year ago. Duffy, who lives in Arizona, seeking unspecified damages. The lawsuit names Father Flanagan's Boys Home, the parent company of what is now the nationwide chain of homes for troubled youth, and the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Omaha. Now, what was the name of it's Covenant House. Father Ritter, wasn't that his name, John Ritter?
Think so.
Somebody will probably fax or call in and let us know what the name of that book was. It's an old book. But Covenant House was founded by a Father Ritter, who found it very convenient to have all those wayward boys there hanging out, which he molested them by the dozens and hundreds and whatever else. Covenant House is still around, but I'm sure, hoping that they're not still having stuff like that going on. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. And you notice how that all kind of died down, it all went away. It's like everything else. The media gets whipped up about something for a little bit of time, and then they realize that the public has a short attention span, unless, of course, it's JonBenet Ramsey, or unless it's, what's her name? Chandra. Look at that, I even forgot already. See, out of sight, out of mind. Chandra and Gary Conduit, all that crap. And now
that we want to get every last shred of evidence.
See, there we go. And there it is. Oh, look at that. It's falling apart again. Is it right behind? Went by that pole? I could do a play-by-play verbatim. I've seen that thing so many times. Even you turn on the Comedy Channel and they're showing that. You turn on the Sci-Fi Channel, they're showing it. You turn on the Game Show Channel, and thank God they're the only ones that are showing programs. I would even watch a show with Bert Convy. That's how desperate I am to see something beside this. And I'd rather croak than watch Bert Convy, even though he croaked. You know what I'm saying? I don't like Bert Convy. I don't know, there's something about him. I didn't like him. Was it the hair? Oh, and you know who else I can't stand? Game show guy? Chuck Swillery.
Oh, huh.
Now what's that show? Cunnilingo? Is that the show that he's got?
I don't know.
Lingo.
The new show.
And it's on a Game Show Channel. It's one of those I think that they made up. One of those shows like the new version of, what is it?
What are you looking at him for? He's not Boca Brian.
He knows these things. You don't know. You don't watch the Game Show Channel. He knows his game shows, mister, okay?
All right, then let him answer it.
But at any rate, now what the hell was I just saying about Bert Convy and who's this other clown?
Chuck Swillery.
Chuck Swillery was the original host of one of the great shows, one of the great moneymakers that made Merv Griffin as rich as he is today, and long before there was any Pat or Vanna. Squeal of Fortune. And when he was on it, it was a bomb. It was like on the verge of going off the air, because that's how bad Chuck Swillery is. The public they see him, whether it's a quiz show, whether it's a commercial, whether he's just walking through the mall, and they start swooning, man. They see him on TV, and they start hitting that button so hard that the remote control falls apart. The buttons start popping off. They just don't like Chuck Swillery. He used to do the show back in the days where instead of cash prizes, they used to go shopping. You know, they'd have so much money in the account. When Jack Clark used to do the announcing. Remember that?
No.
Yes, you do. And they would show the little halo shot of the contestant. Oh, I'll take the painted Dalmatian, the ceramic Dalmatian, and I'll take the little sailboat for $500. You don't remember that?
No.
And that show was the biggest piece of turd. Then they brought in Pat and Vanna. Pat, who's got a personality like a dead man. I mean, he's okay, but he's got no personality, which is why he's good, I guess. And Vanna, who's got those 2 raisinets on her chest. And it's a hit. It's a big, big, smelly hit. How do you like that? A big-breasted hit. Unlike her. Just amazing how bad Chuck Swillery is. He's got to have naked pictures. They keep finding him a gig all the time. He'd be good mornings here. Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm doing okay in spite of this place.
Yeah, I don't, want to be a program director, but I like the breakup. I like the morning, the comedy hour that you did, the first hour. That's excellent. I like a few bedtime stories too. It breaks it up, and these callers are killing us here.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for doing that. I appreciate that. You made a very salient point a little while ago that I'd like to make a comment about.
Salient point?
It's about the administration and the press here really working hard to get us depressed. And I think that it's part of a pattern, a reoccurring pattern.
I think this is a prelude to get us ready for La Bamba, baby, to get us ready to go in there and bomb the crap out of Baghdad.
Yes, it's that.
And kill a whole bunch of people.
Yes, and it's great cover for all of the refutations about more of this evidence that the Bush administration supposedly has.
What evidence?
Right.
You can't complain about their evidence because they don't have any.
Right. Well, and it's also, I believe, part of the obfuscation of the warnings prior to the accident, just like 9/11.
One of those Al-Qaeda guys once took a flight that passed right over Baghdad. Of course, he didn't land or anything, but he passed right over.
Right. He was, he was extradited, and but they threw him out. But yet, that's harboring.
James Baker got pissed when he heard it had something to do with Passover.
And don't forget that this so-called Al-Qaeda gas plant, this weapons of mass destruction factory that they have, is in the U.S. protected zone in the Northern Alliance area.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to point out that part of the obfuscation of this action is the "we had no idea" sort of rhetoric that we're hearing, just like after 9/11, when the evidence has turned out that they did have an idea. And the reason why I'm saying this is that the MSNBC reported this morning that the panel that NASA had assembled to research the possible damage from this foam incident on launching, they warned in an internal memo that was leaked this morning of a 1.5-foot section of tiles that were missing on the leading edge of this wing. And there are alternate NASA's one of the most amazing groups of people that have as you remember on Apollo 13, they have incredible capabilities to save people and to get them back here. This shuttle could have docked with the space station. It was outfitted with a collar, and there are methodologies of returning crew members back to Earth without using the shuttle. And the Russians have a very capable system, and this is what this panel had recommended.
Well, that's not what they were saying over the weekend. They were saying that once it took off, they no longer had if there was a problem with it, they didn't have the ability to dock it.
This is what the panel had recommended, that they could have been parked there. Astronauts could have been launched up to the space station where they could have repaired these tiles and not risked this. Now, of course, this would have taken 6 months to 9 months to do this.
Yeah.
But there are methods of retrieving crews and getting them back up there.
Well, New York Times today's got a great story. NASA dismissed advisors who warned about safety, which I'll get to in a minute. And that's the way it always goes, man.
Yes, and I like it. And part of the other cover-up is if you pay attention on Friday nights, this administration releases all of the horrific news, like the Medicare cuts, the 18% Medicare cuts to Bush, and the changing of the regulations regarding overtime after 40-hour work weeks.
They're tapping your phone right now, man. I want to get you nervous, but they're tapping your phone. They're tracing this call.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that.
There's a knock on your door. You better get it. On the second thought, get under the bed. Freedom of speech is dead.
Oh!
Okay? You can't say crap. They're gassing me in the studio right now as I speak. You can smell it. You can feel it. Can you smell it? Oh, God. Poor toast over there at the Zeta. It's a cold day in hell when I got to go to bed for somebody on that horseball show, but that's pretty sad. That's a microcosm of what's going on in this country today. You don't dasn't say anything. That's why, again, for the umpteenth time, please go out and buy this book. Blinded by the Right, David Brock. To show you the kind of chilling on free speech and the kind of twisting and manipulating and all these fabricated scandals and bullcrap to smear and smear anybody who doesn't goose step along with them. All these self-hating right-wing nutcases. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Speaking of food, weren't you thinking about food? I'm never eating
No.
again, by the way.
Good.
I'm not eating.
Me either.
I don't mean just here. I mean just in general. I'm giving it up. But if you're not giving up food, how about trying Flores out? Nothing comes out of the can at Flores. You'll taste the difference. Everything is homemade. Just fresh-made tomato sauce, for example. Freshly made pizza dough. And fresh baked garlic rolls that are so good you won't believe it. They bake them there every day at Flores. Flores is still around, okay? A week or two ago we did that poll about businesses that are long gone that you used to love so much. Everybody loved Flores, and the good news is it's still there, and the food is as good or better than ever. Their pizzas are gigantic. Like I said, the food is fresh. You'll be fighting for that last slice of pizza if it's from Flores. If you want to find out for yourself, don't just take my word for it. Check them out at 731 Northeast 79th Street off Biscayne Boulevard, or call Flores at 305-758-5351 and get your stuff delivered. They'll deliver from 34th and Biscayne all the way to 135th and Biscayne. They'll go to Quayside, Cricket Club, the Jockey Club. Flores even delivers as far west as 12th Avenue and east to Collins and 71st. Give them a call. If you're nice to little Judy, she'll tell you about the great pizza specials. Like $13.99 for a large cheese pie, liter of soda, and 6 delicious chicken wings. Call Flores now at 305-758-5351. That's 305-758-5351. Believe me when I tell you, Flores is a South Florida institution. When you try their food once, you'll know why. Be sure and tell them that old Neil sent you by to Flores in wherever that is.
Live and local. This is 560. The radio's all yours now. QAM.
Pot's not good, it's great.
Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads. Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads. This is the biggest rap I've ever seen. Man serving a sentence when it's our sheriff that's obscene. Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads. Freedom's dead, let's bury our heads.
13 to noon at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dog at 1. A Humper is in the building at 3. Orlando, the big 7 to 10 tonight. Eddie K from GA overnight at 10 o'clock. What did I say? 10 to 2 and overnight Joe and Mark. Whatever it is, you know what it is. No ball games tonight, no nothing. No hockey game till Wednesday. The Maple Leafs are here to play the Panthers. I'll be there to see that, and then you guys in the Panther organization, good luck to you, okay? You'll need it. Good luck to you. NASA dismissed advisors who warned about safety. This in today's New York Times. You'll find the whole article on our website. When an expert NASA panel warned last year that safety troubles loomed for the fleet of shuttles if the agency's budget was not increased, NASA removed 5 of the panel's 9 members and 2 of its consultants. Some of them now say the agency was trying to suppress their criticisms. A 6th member, a retired 3-star Admiral Bernard M. Cowderer, was so upset at the firings that he quit the group, NASA's Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel, a group of industry and academic experts charged with monitoring safety at the space agency. NASA said it changed the charter of the group so that new members, younger and more skilled, could be added. It had nothing to do with shooting the messenger, said Sony Alexander, a spokesman at NASA headquarters in Washington. Members of Congress who heard testimony from the panel last spring said yesterday they would re-examine whether budget constraints had undermined safety, but several said they doubted it. Right. Dr. Seymour C. Himmel, who was fired from the advisory panel, said yesterday, we were telling it like it was, and we're disagreeing with some of the agency's actions, and as a result, bye-bye, they're out. And like I said, read the whole article on neilrogers.com. NASA dismissed advisors warned about safety. These New York Times. Got it? Good. Well, I tell you, we can sure make a difference on this show, like that bitch that called you that day. Remember?
Of course.
We could make a difference. Look at that phone, man. Are these people whipped up? 567-0560. Cause, and you know why we can't get any calls today? Cause we're not making a list. We're not making a list. You know, like paper or plastic. We don't want to push you too hard today. It is only a Monday. Paper or plastic. Serious or spastic. Sincere or sarcastic. Routine or drastic. Got it? Synthetic or elastic. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. You couldn't move these bastards for love or money, okay, down here. This is the most intransigent, the most intractable bunch of goofballs I've ever seen in my life. And in the not too distant future, I'll be heading on to Hershey. How are we getting the hell out of here for a couple of months? And people are saying, oh yeah, but you're sure going to be cold up there. And wrong. Wrong. I don't care if it's 48 below zero. I don't care if I got snow up to my armpits. You know what? And you want to know why I'll be happy? Because I won't be here. This is God's waiting room, man. This is the end of the universe. Here's a call from Davey. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Man, what you are putting into words are so the way I am feeling about this area. Let me just tell you something. I've had some run-ins with, and I'm a law-abiding citizen, a father.
Oh, don't tell me we lost this guy. Sounded like a real call. Call us back, sir. Your comments are too important to have them, or not. No, seriously, he sounded like a real call, but his phone crapped out. And probably was another one of those goddamn government-controlled conspiracies, if you ask me.
No.
Yes, it was.
Or terrorism.
Yeah, well, don't start, okay? Don't start making jokes about that, okay? It's not funny. Now you think terrorism is funny? Boy, I'm telling you, he's gonna turn back on you again because, his motto is if at first you don't succeed, turn on...
Jorge.
Yeah, that's his motto. Couldn't get me out of here yet. As yet. Couldn't get the Hurricane. Is he back on? Hello?
Hey, Neil.
Sorry.
And you want to know something? I do have a tremendous point to make.
Excellent.
Okay? I've had some interludes with some of the law enforcement in South Florida. And as I said, let me tell you something. There is a group of police officers in every department.
Yeah.
And I say probably 50-60% they are the most corrupt. They break every law there is. Okay?
Yeah.
And I've experienced this firsthand. They make up lies.
Yeah.
They do whatever they can to build their case, even if they don't have one against you.
Whatever it takes.
And let me tell you something. Where the hell can we go to get away from this? Because I'll tell you what. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a politician, you could be anybody. If you get the wrong police officer who decides to break the law and absolutely make up a BS story about you, buddy,
right.
You're spending 13 hours in jail.
There you go.
You want to know something? There aren't many countries where I think that happens. I'll tell you that right now. And this is supposed to be the United States of America, and these MFers are out there breaking the law.
MFers, that's right. A lot of MFers.
And I mean, it's unreal. But I love you, man. Speak up for the people.
And let me just say this to you, and Davey, this is just a word of warning. Don't double park your horse again, okay, pal?
Hey, one other thing.
Yeah.
If they weren't police officers, they couldn't get a job doing anything else. Let me tell you something
I'll give him the high sign for you.
All right, buddy.
Good luck to you. I'll give him the high sign. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T Verizon. That's driven by Peter Wren, formerly by George Napolitano Jr., and before that, Mel Turcotte. High sign. Well, you gotta know these things. What's wrong with you, man?
I'm writing it all down.
Next thing, Dick Feinberg's gonna be telling me what a great driver Mel Turcotte is, you know? Come on, Dick, cut the crap, okay? Cut it out. You're starting to make a clown out of yourself. I'm gonna bring him one of those Patch Adams noses. I think we ought to have a lot of those around here. Wouldn't that be great? We could have Greg walking around with a Patch Adams nose, scratching his head and going, yeah. Here's Miami. Hello.
Can you light my balls on fire?
Okay, sounds like a good idea. Bring them down here. We got an acetylene torch. We can do we can do a blow-by-blow on it. Here's a call from Kendall. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir. Speaking.
Love listening to the show. I was just calling in to weigh in on the paper or plastic poll. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, listen, you know, if I really did that, I'd still have trouble getting calls because it's Monday, you know.
Over the weekend.
They have to think about it.
I definitely I wanted to weigh in. Sure, I called for another reason, but the cops down here suck.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who was a cop and he quit because he couldn't get along with him, and he told me, he says, "Man, you wouldn't believe in the off hours what the cops do.
Oh.
They party just as hard, just as illegal, just as dirty with strippers, drugs, whores, everything in their time off, and they get to do it legally. You know, that's why these people become
cops. How about that whoring we had down there in Kendall and all over Dade County?
I was listening to
a couple of years ago, and nobody wanted to put anything in the newspapers about it. We had one little tiny article, and they swept that out of the rug, and then there was like a little follow-up, about 18 words in between the obituaries, and that was the end of that. They quieted that thing up like you never saw.
Neil, you were the only one mentioning about it 2 years ago. They were working that girl around the clock.
And it wasn't just one girl, and not only that, but they were underage girls. They were minors. Minors.
Yeah. This town, I mean, there's a fine line between law enforcement and security.
And where's the great investigative journalism? I kept screaming and hollering, where the hell are all these great people in television and newspapers here with all their budgets they got for investigative journalism? Where the hell was the follow-through on that? Not a thing, man. Somebody got to the right people somewhere.
They were were writing puff pieces.
Yeah.
Hey, but Neil, I wanted to call you. Over the weekend, I saw a great show on Channel 2 about the history of radio. And it was with these guys.
Now that would make me cry.
Sarnoff and DeForest. I wonder if Jeff
DeForest,
is related to that guy. But it was a very fascinating show how they had, brought it to be mass produced. And I never knew what AM and FM stand for. Now I know.
We know what it stands for now. now
Neil.
that Clear Channel's here, it stands for...
Yeah, George does a great job.
He's sensational, man. In fact, I'm putting him on right now.
I love him.
Have a great day. Yeah, George is going to do the rest of the month, by the way. It's only the 3rd of February. Give him a shot at it. What are you laughing about? You'd be scintillating, man, this month. You'd be perfect. Just exactly what we need now to bring these people back to reality and shake them out of their depression. A nation in pain. I'm in pain because my local newspapers here are such crap that even if I had a parakeet or a cockatoo, they wouldn't allow me to put the paper in the bottom of the birdcage. They'd bite my hand. That's right. If you had a big parrot, you ever see how big a beak is? If you had like a macaw. You think if you went to like the parrot jungle and you tried to stick the Herald of the Sun Sentinel at the bottom of the birdcage, they'd snap your hand right off. That's right. Snap your frickin' hand right off with that newspaper in it. Swill, garbage, a nation in pain. Quit telling us how we're supposed to feel. Just report the news, okay? Quit pretending like everybody's on the verge of suicide now because we had an accident with a goddamn space shuttle. It's unfortunate, it's tragic, we lost 7 lives, that's always sad, but the crap happens every day. There are bus accidents when 30 and 40 kids wind up getting killed and they don't make such a big simus over it. Are their lives worth less than the astronauts? I don't think so. Or anybody else that gets killed. You people in the media, you're part of the problem because you're busy sucking the ass of this administration. You're going to lead us right down the garden path. You pretend to tell us the truth. You don't tell us squat. You're supposed to be the anti-people. You're supposed to ask the tough questions. You're supposed to be the voice of the public. That's the role of the goddamn media. And all they do, how do you like the New Deal at the press conference? Every press conference, it's yuck time. Whether it's with Rumsfeld or Ari Fleischer, and they're making all little jokes. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Well, screw you guys, okay? I hope they're feeding you a lot of good free meals up there in the press corps. You scumbags, you douchebags. Anyway. I know there's no sense in getting worked up because these people don't give a flying fart anyway, okay? All they care about is when the early bird starts and are their teeth ready to take out of the glass yet. 3 minutes till noon at 560 WQAM. Snow in Miami, unbelievable, but Tom Lehman and his good close paisan Joe Prieto are buried up to their armpits, up to their eye lobes and their ear lids. The factory has said, Hal had so many cars, there's no place to stick them. Even Tom Lehman had to park cars in his driveway, he's got so many, and they'd love to place one in yours and your driveway too. Hallett is blowing out all the new vehicles regardless of profit right now, including that nifty Pontiac Vibe starting at only $13,998, and you get up to $5,000 off on every GMC Envoy in stock. Plus, get you 0% financing or up to a $3,000 rebate. Maybe the president will give you like a personal tax rebate if you get an SUV. If you guzzle more than if you get one that gets like about 2 miles a gallon, he'll give you just a whole bag of money. And of course, Hallett's also got a dependable selection of great used cars, trucks, and SUVs. If everybody else in town won't even, if they turn their nose up in the air when you walk on their lot because they think your credit really blows, and maybe it does, not a problem at Hallett. So instead of running around town praying and hoping you can get a deal, this is the place you always can. It's the Winter Blizzard Emergency Clearance Sale going on right now at Hallett Pontiac GMC, 13401 South Dixie Highway. That's on US 1 across from the Falls, open every day, 7 days a week, where they really treat you right. And if you mention the Neil Rogers Show, you'll save even more, amazing as it is. Call the Neil Rogers Neil Deal hotline toll free at 1-888-534-4211. That's 1-888-534-4211 for Hallett Pontiac GMC, who be professional grade as it gets.
We're Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Well, it be the 12 to 1 hour on WQAM.
Put your hands in front and pull upon your zipper. Loosen up your pants and drop them to the floor. Okay. Slowly as you can. Please remove your t-shirt so that you'll stay real cool while I get real hot. Now just remove those hooks and back with that old familiar snap. Yeah, you got something gravity defying. I'm dying. Ooh, ooh,
Squirt. 12:03 at 560 WQM. It's a wild day in this town, I'll tell you that. Can't you feel it? Can't you smell it? Huh? Just open up the window. If you're driving around out there with your windows up, just roll them down like Mad Dog would say, and you can smell it. Wally in Deerfield says, I just purchased Gore Vidal's latest book, Dreaming War, Blood for Oil and the Cheney-Bush Junta, and I'm eagerly awaiting its arrival from Amazon.com. I'm going to pick that up today, or in the next couple of days. Don't forget, Blinded by the Right by David Brock. It's homework assignment for everybody who listens to the show, except, of course, for those right-wingers who are monitoring us, and we welcome them, too. In fact, maybe they ought to read it. They might learn something. Here's McCalla, one of our lady listeners, who says, I wanted to recount a short story about the Columbia Shuttle disaster. You're going to puke when you hear this. Since the disaster happened on Sabbath, I decided to call my folks to let them know what had happened. The first thing I was told was, this means the Jewish astronaut is dead. The rabbi was right. I was clueless as to what they meant, but amidst the screams and cries, they finally told me that the Jewish astronaut's rabbi had told him not to travel, hence his return on Sabbath. Apparently, this topic was something that was being heavily debated among the community. I was beyond disgusted. They weren't upset because the disaster had happened, but only because this Jewish astronaut had the audacity to travel on the Sabbath against his rabbi's counsel. Speechless in Broward, says McCalla. How do you like that? Huh? Yeah. Oh.
Oi!
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon line. 585 votes. How were you personally impacted by the Columbia Shuttle disaster? And we got 405. It was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. That's almost 70%. Somewhat impacted. 106, 18.1. What about your wisdom teeth? Somewhat impacted?
A little bit.
Very greatly, 47, and not at all, 27, 4.6%. Crap happens, man. It's an accident. We're not going to go into mourning. We're not crying. We're not weeping over here. Did you know any of these astronauts?
No.
See, I'm one of those people. I'm not ordinarily, like 9/11 was a different story. It was grotesque and thousands of people died, like 3,000, and it was a whole different thing. It was an assault upon all of us. But the fact of the matter is, this was an accident. It wasn't an assault on anybody. It was a freaking accident. A nation in pain. I just keep looking at that thing with that big cross on my front page there.
Well, thank you for sprucing it up.
I put a Star of David over it on my thing just in case for the one Jewish guy, the Israeli guy that died, and we don't have, I don't know what the Hindu symbol is for the Indian lady.
But when we find out, we'll draw it on there.
We'll draw it on there to even it out. You idiots at the Sun Sentinel, you morons! The media in this town blows. You people blow, okay? You couldn't make it in goddamn Savannah, Georgia. You couldn't make it, even a candidate with Daily Messenger is a greater newspaper than the Herald of the Scum Sentinel, okay? I think I'm going to start getting the Palm Beach Post. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, I guess a dot would be a symbol for the Indian.
A dot?
A dot. But other than that, is our countryside going to be littered with little crosses now wherever a piece of debris fell?
I thought we got done doing that, by the way. Aren't they upset about the people that put the crosses out on the highway?
Well, these things are going to be like all over Texas as if there weren't enough already.
Yeah, good point.
Talking about the administration just changed, there was a thing in yesterday's Sun Sentinel, not written by the Sun Sentinel, about the supercar, the 80-mile-per-gallon car that was started 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And the Bush administration obviously squashed it 2 years ago with the auto industry because they said, well, people want SUVs. And Chrysler has a car that is in their Chrysler Museum.
Yeah.
It was in yesterday's paper. It was just kind of interesting reading. And one last thing, not about the shuttle. There was this program on last night called Kingpin about the Hispanic.
Oh, damn it, I forgot to watch that. I read, Jicka wrote a piece about that, another one of his puff pieces on Network Shows, but I read it was going to be pretty good, was it?
I thought it was pretty good. In the first 15 minutes, you had two Mexican drug dealers grabbing their crotches, yelling at people, you don't have huevos.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's my kind of show.
It's on again Tuesday.
Okay, thanks.
Bye, Neil.
See ya. Don't want to miss that. Couple sue McDonald's over tough bagel. Panama City Beach, Florida. Yeah. Everything like this happens in Florida. Maybe there were a few hanging chads in that bagel. Could have been. Got in the water. A couple is suing the franchisee of a McDonald's restaurant, claiming an improperly prepared bagel damaged the husband's teeth in their marriage. Oh. John and Cecilia O'Hare, no relation to Francis O'Hare of Flushing, Michigan. Great harness driver. John and Cecilia... What are you smirking about, man? He was the best. He was an old man. He was great. You want me to list you all the horses that he used to drive? Bucky Dale and Lord's Lady and O.H. Jane and O.H. Leo. O.H. stood for O'Hare, by the way. Anyway, John and Cecilia O'Hare said Friday they sued for unspecified damages more than $15,000. They alleged that the McDonald's owned by Johnstone Foods Inc. was negligent and violated an implied warranty that the food sold was reasonably fit for human consumption. Oh, who would believe that about Mickey D's anyway, huh? About McDeath. They contend in the suit that John O'Hare broke teeth in bridge work February 1st, 2002 when he bit into the bagel. The suit didn't say exactly what was wrong with the bagel. The suit alleges the wife lost the care, comfort, consortium, and society of her husband. The couple's attorney, Tim Warner, did not return telephone messages at his office. Tracy Johnstone, owner of Johnstone Foods, said she never before had a bagel complaint and had no idea how it could have been prepared in a way that would damage teeth. It's a bagel, she said. And he said, "Oi! How do you like that? Haven't you ever had a bagel that was hard as a rock?"
Yeah.
That would do it. You could bust a tooth on a bagel. What are you laughing about? It's not a laughing. It's not a joke.
Yeah, it is.
You couldn't bust a tooth on a bagel that was hard as a
You
rock?
bite onto something that's too hard to get through.
What if your teeth are crumbling? What if your teeth are like in bad
Sounds
shape and
like a
they're like
personal
crumbling?
problem.
No. What do you mean by that? Are you showing insensitivity to people that got crumbling teeth?
Yes.
I got all my teeth, by the way. Well, it's a lot of caps, but I mean like underneath.
Yeah.
I would kind of like to have false teeth, you know what? Because then, first of all, I feel like I fit in down here a lot better, number one. And number two, it's so much more convenient, you know?
And you have an amusing party trick.
Yeah. I could do a show
spit
with
'em into the punch
I would
bowl.
love to do the show with false teeth and just went in every now and then whip them out.
You could do like my stepdad and take them out and clean them with your tongue at the dinner table.
That's appetizing.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a new diet. Everybody whip out their false teeth. Right at the dinner table. Whip it out.
He's dead now.
See? Told you. I keep looking over here. I'm sure that Miguel is going to go out and do something today, isn't he? And
It's
your
Monday. It's early in the
Treasure
week.
Island's not till next week, right?
Correct.
I think it's just going to be, I don't know, it's one of those weeks you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can smell it. Not too much going on. Except in here where everybody around here is crazy. This place is crazy, baby. This radio station is crazy. In the middle of the night, somebody came in here from Palm Beach, stole away the whole goddamn sports sales department. We got people running around here like pointing the fingers at each other. We got the Momeister in the morning who can't figure out what the hell side he's buttered on. We got Geldy in there who's busy with those daggers pointing at Jiggs McDonald's back. The Jugsmeister. I like Jugs. You know, I think he's a Hall of Famer.
I like Jugs too.
Yeah, big ones. Well, he's kind of big. In fact, I bet you he's got a big set, the Jugmeister. He's a good guy, Jugs, okay? Now, don't be picking on Jugs McDonald. I think he does a job, you know? Huh? Oh, I got the greatest line of all time. Wait till you hear this. Wait until you hear this. So Rimmer keeps trying to talk me to go in the game yesterday. He bought me a ticket. I don't want to go. I never wanted to go in the first place. I could have bought my own tickets. So I said, well, how come you're going to be sitting in these seats down up close for the All-Star game? I said, why aren't you watching from the broadcast booth? He said, oh, well, you can't see anything up there. And I said to myself, I said, that explains a lot, Rimmer. You can't see the game from up there.
To have that on tape.
Yeah. So anybody who wonders every now and then, like, what's going on? Yeah. Well, he admits you can't see anything from way the hell up there. Is that a great line or what?
Oh, the best.
Yeah, in fact, I'll use that on the air in lieu of the $14 you owe me. Remember, I'm using that line, okay? Now we're even. Then, of course, there's the Mitch Hirsch money. 11 past noon at 560 WQAM. If you're fat, unhealthy, it looks like crap, believe me, I know. I'm unhealthy and I look like crap. If you want to look better and you want to be healthier, a lot healthier, lose that weight thanks to Balance for Life. You know, I don't have to tell you how desperate all of us fat people are to lose it. Look at the beast. We thought he was on the verge of death, and he probably was. Young man like him weighing nearly 300 pounds. He's down to under 240, 236 last Friday. I bet you like we're in the range of 230. And he's going to get there. We're going to get his ass down to like 200 pounds, and of course the rest of them. Balance for Life is the way to do it because they measure all of that food according to the zone diet and they prepare it for you every day. You just pick between two choices for each meal every day that you're on a program, and we're talking about 3 gourmet meals and 2 delicious snacks which they deliver right to you every single morning by 6 a.m. to your door, to your work, your home, wherever you are by 6 a.m. In your black sack, like I said, are fantastic, delicious foods, plenty in there to keep you full all day long. Nothing artificial, nothing frozen, no crap. You just pop your little plastic trays in the microwave and you've got delicious meals to keep you full all day long. So if you want to lose that weight the fast, the easy, delicious way, give this a try. You owe it to yourself to try Balance for Life. Call 954-568-3229. 954-568-3229 or visit their website at balanceforlife.com.
Live and local. This is Sports Radio 560 QAM.
P-A-Y-S-U-C-K-S.
Shut up, you big hog. Ginger Rogers takes a mouthful of the sausage in Jorge's pants. That pipe smoker and uncircumcised Cupid engage in a fakeler dance. I'm a cranky homophobe. Not that I mind it, but I'm way too old. I fantasize about being in bed in a tryst with Fiedler, my man friend. I'll kiss and make up with Ginger someday. And then ask him to rape my buns over and over again. Though I would not feel remorseful, and I would not be ashamed about a Ginger and Mo gay union, just boning and stroking away.
Gay.
Boy, Gildy, you're not my type. You sound like a 9-year-old kid. Only a macho, manly kind.
You don't notice.
That makes me flip my wig. If Ginger was a lover of mine, I'd bury my bulbous, veiny nose inside his pimply rear end. No, I would not be a sport if I was not a closeted fay. That's why a Ginger and Mo gay union would make me feel giddy and gay.
Everybody follow my bouncing balls.
Yeah, Ginger and Mo gay union would make my sore old bony ass feel safe. If we had a Ginger and Mo gay union, then he wouldn't have to get me raped.
Those are boss.
It's 12:18 at 560 WQAM, 5670560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. We got the Mad Dog at 1. 610 votes on the poll. How were you personally impacted by the Columbia Shuttle disaster? It was a tragedy, but Schmidt happens. 423, 69.3%. Somewhat, 110, 18%. Very greatly, 48, 7.8%. And not at all, 29, almost 5%. Crap happens.
Since it had completed that refurbishment. So in this regard,
seriously, there are days when I feel like I might lose my mind from the media. I've had and I'm glad I took this poll today and that it's coming out overwhelmingly like this, because it can't just possibly be me. I'm not that insensitive. I'm not that much of a hard ass. I'm not that much of a bonehead. But good golly, Miss Molly, give it a rest. There's got to be something else going on in the world. Got a mail truck being hijacked on Friday. CNN. Horror in Miami. Horror in Miami. Here we are right here. We're going. They went right past the building. Were anybody horrified? Anybody fearful for their lives? The people at Power were a little bit nervous. They thought the guy wanted to make a request. They thought he was coming by the building. But other than that, horror in Miami, goddammit. Scream. Come on, get upset. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Hey, that Kingpin show is really good. It's believable. It's not like one of these cheesy, typical things NBC's putting on, so I recommend that.
Now, let me ask you, Eric Estrada wasn't in it, was he?
No.
Good, then I might watch it. Okay.
Bunch of no-names. The picture on the front page of the Palm Beach Putz had a big aerial shot of that mail truck hijacking, and I counted quickly over 50 police cars surrounding that truck when they finally pulled it over. Who was watching the donuts?
Good point. Let me ask you one other thing. How come they had those schools all closed down until late in the afternoon? They knew that this guy had one other accomplice, and they already had him in custody. And the guy, they had already shot the tires out on the mail truck. He wasn't going anywhere. Why did they have all those kids in school and prevent their parents from going and picking them up?
I just don't understand why they needed 50 cars to chase one.
Yeah, a little bit of overkill.
Okay. Hey, but what I called about?
Yes, sir.
I called you about a month ago, and I brought this up, and I'm bringing it up again, and I'll probably call you in another month on it. and that is my assertion that Bin Laden's dead. Okay, I keep hearing you referring to the fact that, he's out there on the loose and stuff.
I don't keep saying he's out there on the loose. I haven't got any idea. I never said that. I said we don't know.
You keep making reference to
No, but
the fact
you
that
keep, look, I'm not going to waste my time. Every month you're going to call me again. How the hell do you know? Every month he's going to call us back and tell us that. No, thanks, we'll pass. Just send us a fax. When's the last time I said he's out there running around? Did I say that?
Whatever.
We don't know. We have no idea.
Don't know.
And the fact is, he's not the issue. The fact is that Al-Qaeda's reorganizing. They keep admitting that.
They're out there.
They're out there. That's right. He's not the one who flew the planes into the World Trade Center or the Pentagon. They're out there and they're reorganizing. They're getting ready to do their crap. And that's your people that are telling us that. So what are you talking about? He's going to call me next month to tell me the same thing. See, you, sir, are what's wrong with radio talk shows. Like Dennis and you and the same little core of jackasses calling who feel compelled to say the same thing over and over again, every day, every week, every month. Who cares? Like that one punk. Oh, I called up Orlando last night and told him this, and he repeats the same thing he told Orlando on the station a few hours before. Who wants to hear it again? Probably wasn't that important to be said the first time. He's got to repeat it again? Oh, my God. Virgin Mary makes guest appearance at crowded Australian beach. The Virgin Mary, or a figure resembling the traditional image of her, made an appearance before thousands of spectators at a crowded beach suburb in Australia. Whether fake optical illusion or genuine religious vision remained an unsolved riddle, but for an hour and 3/4 in mid-afternoon, the apparition was sighted on a fence post at the northern tip of the beach at Coogee. Coogee. Now, you think she lost her flavor on the fence post overnight?
Was she wearing traditional beachwear?
Several thousand spectators, some believers, some curious, others skeptical, turned out to watch after several sightings were widely publicized here last week in Coogee, Australia. Some expressed amazement by what they saw. Others were disappointed. Diana Kawadi of Morumbra was emotional and teary-eyed as she pointed out the vision to friends. I saw it last week. This is my second time I've come to see her. In other words, she's just hanging out there on a fence post. She ain't going to get much accomplished there, I don't think. It feels so good that our dear Virgin Mary is with us. She's trying to get as close to God, her Son and Lord Jesus Christ. She believed the apparition brought a message of peace as the world prepares for a war. But Tony Turry of suburban Strathfield said it didn't really matter what message she was trying to bring. Different people see different things, he said. They reckon she shows up in different colored shawls, sometimes blue, other times maroon. Another local girl, Natalie Weisebeck, agreed. It doesn't matter because everybody gets a different message, she said. I think it's amazing that so many people are gathered in one spot to see her. Like Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, that's amazing.
30,000 people came out in Pennsylvania over the weekend to see Punxsutawney Phil, who saw his shadow. Or did he not? I don't know how that goes. He said it's going to be 6 more weeks of winter is what he said. 30,000 people showed up to see a groundhog, okay? Not that there are people who are superstitious. These are just people who really want to say,
I have no life.
Right. Better than playing golf anyway. It depends on what angle or whether you were squinting your eyes, but it gives happiness to people and it doesn't matter why she's here, it says. Perhaps the happiest person of all was the man selling picture postcards of the Virgin Mary and flowers just meters away from the apparition for people to place at the base of the fence post at $2 each. That's $1 US. Now we're talking. And Gary Quinn of Hocking, Wisconsin, in the U.S. said, referring to the many bikini-clad girls on the beach, I saw an apparition, all right, but it wasn't Mary. Now we're talking. There you go, Gary.
All right.
Typical horny American for you. Good going. Wow. 5670560. Here's a call from West Palm Beach. Hello.
I'll hold the last one against me.
What is it?
I'll hold the last West Palm Beach caller against me. Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was at the game. It was a great game. I thought the fans showed a lot of class, giving those ones a great applause.
It was great. Standing ovation.
It's a very kind of touchy situation as far as whether he was going to be there or whether he wasn't. I think Coach Keenan really did him the wrong way for some reason.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have waited until today to do this trade or whatever?
I'll tell you one thing. Coach Keenan, I'm reversing my opinion about him. He did a great job in Boston with Joe Thornton, and that was it. He's done a great job here with Ole Jokinen, and that's it. He wants to trade Christian Huzelius. He doesn't like Bobby Luongo, who's a tremendous goaltender. I don't know what the hell he's thinking about. I really don't. He wanted to send Stevie Weiss down to the minors. Rick Dudley had to overrule him, keep him up here. Well, Stevie Weiss is one hell of a little player. He's great. And I think he's losing his mind, Keenan. Maybe too much sun.
Well, I'm with you. I mean, he's a great coach, of course. But,
well, maybe he was once a great coach, but he sure as hell isn't here. Making one guy into a real star doesn't mean you're a great coach.
There you go. But I think there should be NHL should do something. There's just no way you should make a trade, especially for an NHL starter going to a different country.